we started off, I believe, had some theories about Narcissus, that Narcissus may still be a god, having made some deal or something to retain their divinity. And as we were sort of just theory crafting what was going on, Demos received a visitor from a 1920s gangster, cane, hat, the whole deal, who then revealed himself to be the actual Hades, who was up to no good, just annoyed that the systems that he had put into place had been toppled over, and said to Demos, "Hey, I get you did what you had to do, but this has been a pain for me, and I'm going to be setting up some new pins that you knocked over, and this time making sure that you don't get knocked down. So you can either be on the right side of this, or you cannot. This is more just a courtesy warning, and don't do anything if you know what's good for you." They had a conversation for a while, and Demos tried to appeal to his better nature, but it's literally the devil, so didn't work out so well. I believe he summoned Darius after that, who then got the details via mind reading, including the image of Hades' face. I don't really remember what happened after that. I believe. Darius went off to the island of the Golden Heart and communed with Thylea, who imparted that it is still possible it is in fact possible for a way for mortals to achieve / retain theoretically their divinity, and that there are mortals who know how it's done. After we discussed that, Demos very cleverly leveraged his the fact that he knew all of his soldiers, all of the soldiers that he trained with, because he wanted to have a conversation with Valus, and recently the soldiers had taken over these sort of support staff duties. And so because he knew them, he was able to suss out the new hires, and then he was able to suss out, who was doing the legwork of keeping Mitros going, and then who he already knew, and whatever lay outside of that Venn diagram must be Valus. And then
the person undertaking like 5 people's jobs.
Yeah, 5 people's jobs, new hire. Couldn't have been like 95% of the other people. It was like pretty clearly Valus. And then Valus said that she didn't know the details, but had heard legend of the existence of some artifacts that, if obtained, could turn one into a god. I don't really remember what happened after that. I believe it was a very heavy roleplay session, and also a very heavy, like, pieces are clearly being set up and we don't quite know how to, like, where to pursue them, but it's gonna be great when they start getting knocked over. We're definitely getting the sense of that, but I can't remember the detail of exactly how. It was a while ago. If anyone's got anything else after that Valus talk.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Valus also then talked about the whole Arisha, sort of not directly sabotaging Mitros, but certainly like, slowly influencing, maybe prodding at it a little bit.
It's like
It's pretty
taking
clear
advantage of
that
its weakened state.
Yeah, it was very clear that she fucking hates Arisha, and especially her pathetic dragon brother, uh, which Darius then tried to scry on, but he could not.
Hmm.
And then theories about whether he is now a dragon or still a god somehow ensued. I think that's it.
Yeah, I believe after that, Darius tried to figure out whether the Arisians know of this whole, gods turning into dragons thing, and
Oh, that's
whether
right. He went rumor hunting for whether a dragon just happened to just showed up out of nowhere in Arisia, and the answer appeared to be no.
yeah, the sources of information he had were like secondhand at best. Basically, one of the few merchants that still travels between Arisia and Mitros.
Because their
They
scrying
weren't aware
barriers
of
are
anything.
apparently very good, for their divination barriers.
Well, I mean, you don't get a free show of of this, like
I
God
mean,
of Beauty.
they were- they were-
that's just.
They were also close to the Queen of Arisia, and I don't know if I was going to be the head of state for a militaristic nation, and that the other nation is ruled by a god, I would probably up my divination wards as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be like, yeah, divination,
Yeah.
fucking gods. All right, let's really knock this one out of the park.
Although equally possible, it could be that Narcissus is still a god somehow and just had legendary resistance or just a godly save. I guess we'll have to actually go there and check it out if we want to know.
A detail worth mentioning, that would be something Artemisia would know, is that the Queen of Arisia is the High Priestess of Narcissus. The two positions are the same position.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Theology.
Okay, as a
I mean,
player, I
to
did
be
not
fair,
know
the
that.
Elf Goddess was literally quick.
Oy.
To be fair,
it's good that we have a
it's-
dictator here, so
it's not too bad.
It's true.
Artemisia doesn't particularly like Arisia as a structure, more as a concept. Likes the idea of Arisia.
There could be an Arisia.
There could be a good Arisia, but
yeah,
what's
and
going on right now?
Artemisia.
An Artemisia?
An Artarisia.
Hey!
Cue the
I mean,
Russian type, like USSR type anthem.
yes.
Yeah, naming. Welcome to Dimosgrad.
Here, everybody fight.
Oh God. Yes. All right.
It would be a surprise turn for this campaign to take. Over the next 10 years, it develops into it. No.
Switching
yeah.
marching in the streets with rifles.
Valis did suggest that we should just keep being nice and doing good things, and maybe they would stop.
Yeah, that's her MO pretty much.
That's always
Like,
been.
what if we just don't? But now,
Yeah. How did that
What
work
if
with
we
Sidon exactly?
do the opposite and go there and tear out the roots and try to liberate them. I just don't know anything about them. So I have no idea what that
Yeah,
was.
this.
Yeah,
Valis
gosh,
has
right
tried
there.
to say that this situation has happened in the past a few times while she was ruling Mitros.
Mhm.
And, well, she has certainly been the one who was in Deimos' shoes there and eventually decided to, fuck you, Arisia, we're going to stop this by force now. But as far as she's concerned, this situation hasn't escalated to a point where that seems necessary quite yet. Like, they're poking and prodding and being annoying, and they're certainly
Yes.
not being as subtle about it as they could be, which is a message in and of itself. But it's not that bad yet.
I
They might
remember you
just fail.
saying at the time now that there's a difference between they are not committing war crimes, they're being dicks.
Deimos just doesn't know why. He's like, what?
So they're
I
basically
saved
being
you.
like
But
Russia.
that could be a
saved you.
reason. that could be a reason for a diplomatic mission, right? I mean, if we all understand that we're not planning to murder them all, but actually talk.
Aren't they just gonna serve us crappy food and send us home?
The indignity.
Like, no,
The
but
grapes that you find at the bottom of the container, they're like all slushed together.
the
Ah!
question here, guys, is why? Why are they doing this?
Well,
And-
their
and
god is a
usually-
vain asshole who
Hon-
probably has a grudge against the others because
And-
Honestly,
It's-
I'm really
usually-
holding on to this "they are Russia" vibe. Like,
Yeah, they're just being dicks because
It's
they
like,
want
why-
one
why
more
do
to-
any two nations do
can.
what they do against each other?
Yeah.
Long-held tensions over things that probably no one alive today had anything to
But
do
if
with
they keep
initially.
doing it in the past too, why can't they just like do their own thing over there? We're so far away.
Well, I mean,
mean,
maybe
they
that's
are
a
doing
thing
their
for the
own
new
thing.
king to try to see what they can do about it.
you know what? It'll be so much easier when there's a new queen on the throne.
One who has a great friendship with the king of Mitros.
Ah,
I'm all for that. Yeah.
Artemisia will not suggest it.
oh no, I planted a seed.
With deposing a foreign nation and installing one of your friends as the
I mean, to be
new ruler.
fair, she's
We're
from
not sounding
there.
like
She's a
Sidon
citizen.
at all.
I mean,
It's more like we're here to help liberate it from a totalitarian regime.
Uh-huh. We're
Right.
we're not sounding like Sidon
Yeah,
even a little
yeah.
bit.
Okay, man. Someone's got to claim that storm domain, right? Something's
know
got to
what?
Yeah,
do
I do.
you know what?
Conquest,
Specifically to not use it.
destruction.
I'm gonna totally undo that whole like rule where the royal guard can't be female as well. Fuck that rule. Yeah, it's just
Wait, they have
That's a
rule-
thing?
I had to
damn
have
it.
that rule, man. So sad.
No, no.
That's an Arisian rule?
Yeah,
Wait,
Oh,
what?
I didn't-
There's
I
one
can't
thing-
believe you're protecting these people.
man.
I
All
always
rulers of Arisia are always queens, and the entire royal guard is muscular men.
Yeah, funny that, huh?
That's
See, I abolish slavery.
Odd.
They haven't done the thing over there.
Artemisia is completely pro multiple choice. So equal sex.
Good to
Gotta
know that
say,
she's
she
not
sounds like she's compensating
I'm
for
not sure that's what we were
something,
talking about, but I'm glad to know that she's pro-choice.
You know,
Divas, though. Whew.
just
Yeah, Divas would be a fucking pro-lifer.
No, he wouldn't. He would not give a damn. I think he's very much
Ah.
live and let live.
Yeah,
to you.
sure.
gonna
That
say,
does not concern me whatsoever.
Oh, this campaign just
No.
keeps getting more problematic.
That's the problem. The higher level you get, the more like, why don't we just depose the ruler you get?
No,
Yeah.
it's like, recently, Mitros, with all the liberations we've been doing, we have a surplus of freedom. And what do you do with it? You bring it.
I
Bring
mean,
it down.
preemptive
Oh my God.
strike.
It really is Russia and
Are
the
we?
US we've
Are
got
we?
going on.
Are we streaming this? By the way, Halldamir, is that
I'm
a
not
thing you're doing?
streaming. I'm
You're
recording.
recording. All right, good.
we
just
can
so
cut
I
this
know
part
it-
out.
we could, yeah, we could
we
delay
can
this by
fix
a
it in
few
post.
weeks.
No, I just need to know if I should do it or not.
No,
Yeah.
that's good. I got it. It might take me 3 days to upload it, but I got it.
3 days.
You think I joke?
Uh-huh.
Just
Subtle.
the
Yeah,
truth.
that's
I'm on mobile broadband over here, guys.
I'm just teasing, mate.
I'm on 4G. Like, come on.
You got plenty going on. It's
In
gonna-
reality,
say, from
though,
what you said, it's much better than mine. So
That's true.
It does seem like taking the high road is how we're going to deal with it. Just
Yeah,
like they're kind of
for
being
now.
the worst.
Mhm.
But I don't really got to work with them. So yes, they were the ones behind trying to make my fleet not work and making civil unrest and supporting these slaving merchants to uprise. But apparently they're pro-slavery and anti sort of equality. So
You know,
But
they're
the
great
the,
people, really.
the good thing is that
I
now we
mean-
have amazing ships. So
Until recently, neither was Mitros, so
That's true.
Oh no, it was I wasn't in charge back then.
And
exactly. Yeah.
in all fairness, Artemisia has just been patriotic in the sense of she doesn't like Mitros. She likes Mitros now. It's a pretty good place. Doesn't so much care about Arisia anymore. They fucked her over. They exiled her.
Mhm.
Yeah, they really messed up on that. They were like, wait, she's prophesized to be one of the heroes. Get her out of here.
They fucked up.
We don't want to. That's not on us. Send her away.
No,
They
the
fucked up.
exile was far before that.
It was. It was a lot
Mm.
before that. But still, they fucked up.
Yeah, they're jerks. They could have been cool.
Now I'm gonna show up on a dragon, middle fingers blaring, like
let's just get one of the accountants or
my
someone.
God.
Never, let's be real. Let's be real, Val. So already have it done. Just make a list of slights so that when it gets
Fury of
appropriately
blows.
large.
But it's just giving the finger.
What Demos actually feels like, he
Oh
feels
god,
kind
that
of
would hurt.
Demos actually feels kind of hurt that they're doing this. He's like, we saved everything. The Titans. We saved humanity, at least. Let's not say everything. Maybe that's these days a little bit harsh, but humanity.
they probably have.
And you know what? Thylia said I should do it. I asked, literally, and she was like, yeah, you got to do that, man. And I was like, all right. So he feels like that gives him a pretty good mandate for it. Now they come here, just, oh yeah, Mitros is weak. We lost our entire fleet defending humanity. And then they're like, well, that seems like a great time for us to slide in and begin messing up your stuff. And he's like,
Mhm.
come on. Like, you don't want a fair fight? Then you would have fought us when we were strong. Right? This is just being like a slimy weakling.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, why don't you go and tell them that?
The
See how they
Bears-
react.
no, he doesn't even want to dignified. He's just baffled. Like, Valis thinks it's smart. That seems right. She's been fixing a lot of that stuff. Sure, give her what she needs. And if things escalate, we'll have a very high horse to be on,
Mhm.
which will be helpful.
I think.
Okay,
I
if
think
it helps, I think we
Artemisia-
have more immediate problems.
Yeah, he's about too busy making overtures with the Centaurs. That's his current job, is to make sure that if for some reason a Kraken comes and smashes his city, his people can find refuge in the plain there.
That's pretty good.
And that takes a lot of effort. So that's his focus.
Mhm.
I don't know why. I just have a feeling something terrible has come from the sea. I mean, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's been here the
Yeah,
whole
when we-
time.
Let's
Island-sized fish monster.
No, he's just hanging
I-
out.
I have
Yeah,
news on
he
that.
has been
I have
for
news
now.
on that front, although we should
Oh.
probably do it in game.
Yeah, right. Well, anyway,
Yeah,
Okay, let's enter.
I do think that that'll be the way for us to transition in game, because I believe Darius was going to call a meeting.
Yes, but I also, I assume that took time, and if people were doing stuff in the meantime that they want to do, then, make sure that is a thing that they have the opportunity to do.
Demas has reached out to those who can be reached and reported to them about the problems he's been facing with Eresia, and that they seem to be trying to warmonger and just make a mess of everything. He feels like that's pertinent information. Beyond that, he'll say he's trying to make overtures with the Centaur. That's what he's going to be doing until something happens. Just the northern ones, like in this sort of area. The ones that are sort of close. He feels like if he can befriend them, then that'll be a road to befriend more.
Sorry, I'm trying to find my notes. Turns out I have a lot of D&D notes. Probably not the best person at cataloging, if that was ever a concern. Anyway, I believe last time I could play, I was talking with the Sirens about sort of trying to reestablish some kind of Siren city in the long term, trying to find information about the lost city and sort of, maybe now that Siren doesn't hate us, we can be more than like 50, well, maybe like 30 Sirens together again, So I think she would be around doing that. So if a meeting is called, which I imagine, like I don't imagine meetings that we call like be there in an hour, right? Like I think that maybe also like Darius could just like, yes, I would like a meeting, and then it's like in a week, so
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So, yeah,
we don't
so
have the sending stones anymore because Echo has that. So it literally has to be like you sending to one of you one day, and then like
Yeah.
fly to a different one of you, and then you sending the the next day on the third, and then
I
wait
mean,
for
I'm
everyone to
sending too, I think, so.
pass the message along.
Yeah, we have a chain.
Yeah,
anyway, but
we've
so,
established a text chain at this point.
And Artemisia is already like a day away. So, or like half a day's flight,
Actually,
something like that.
breaking pattern. Darius would call the meeting at the Dragonlord fortress.
Oh, that's
If
great.
that's all right with you.
Yeah, Artemisia doesn't.
Yeah,
have
it's
to
great for
go
you.
anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
means Demos has to move.
fucking great. Get off your ass, Demos.
wow.
Which one
hateful.
was Sybil Corax? I don't remember.
Vulcan.
Mm.
Oh yes, that was confusing.
All right. Take my token.
It was like, oh yeah, I remember now being like, oh, sorry, do you prefer one of your names? And he's like, honestly, I don't know. I kind of feel like either, both. I was born one way, but spend so much time as another. It's kind of confusing. I'm like, okay, I'll try out both. Just sort of switch, see which one you feel more comfortable with. And he's like, that's terrible.
Oh.
I don't know what you want from me, Sybil Vulcan.
Make up your mind, bitch. Oh,
Well,
Okay.
Corax.
So like,
I feel like that's what you didn't do. That's you know what? That's okay. That's
I'm like,
all right, boomer. Jeez.
so yeah.
Slowly backs away.
Oh
I
no,
mean,
I know.
don't use sometimes feel like that. I
Get-
feel like that with Eri. Like it's not my real name, but I've used it for so long that it's might as well.
Halldamir might as well be my name. More people know me as Halldamir than my real name.
Yes, but that's just because I don't socialize much.
I mean, same, really.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's hard when you have videos with thousands of views on YouTube. Like, people is like sort of statistically in real life, people just not gonna
Yeah, statistically, I'm not
Have that
going to
many.
know that many people because I hate people.
incredibly famous.
Mhm.
Internet.
True.
Yes, so famous.
Incredibly.
Individual persons can be great. People in general, nah.
famous. I think Darius should stand by the fire while we all gather around it. That sounds
with a cool backlit. Sort of
Yeah,
area.
Yeah,
like
Habitual
dire
one.
discussions. Like, oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. It's perfect. Like giving the like perfect shadows on his eyes because the
Yeah.
light's coming from the wrong way.
have
I love
discovered-
that Xerxia has just kicked
Yeah,
Demos
I
out of
saw
that.
that is the best. I was
Demos
like,
is
oh
savage.
no, I banished Argon to the corner, and you have just the throne.
Just my
Oh, I'm like, oh
senior.
no.
I think Darth Axel just goes and
Axel's
sleeps on the table.
Yeah. I also imagine
Xerxia-
Xerxia is the kind of character who enjoys seeing limits and then trying how far she can push them.
Oh,
before people push
absolutely.
back.
She's, I think, maybe my favorite character in this campaign.
That's for sure.
The limits is the weight ability of this chair. It's just
Yeah.
freaking dragon sitting there, Panzer horse, just crushing it.
we cut to like under the chair, and it's been like heavily reinforced with
Yeah.
adamantine because she's done this before.
Like iron
But
banding.
all
all
those
over the
short
legs.
swords
just broke.
It doesn't have Vex. It's just a big plate of metal under
That's
it, like
yeah.
adamantine.
Yeah.
This
like
whole
our
place
one
costs a
souvenir from
fortune.
Praxis.
He must casually stands in that sort of I don't care thing where he leans his back against Xerxes like wing and
Yeah.
crosses his arms and like looks to the side. There is like, as if he's doing the thing in a video game where you walk past someone in the hallway and they totally didn't just stand there to talk to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Also
Yeah, I
imagine
look
you
at
turn off
Demos
all
and
the
press
other
X.
Yeah.
Oh no, I guess I'm probably the
Yeah,
character. in
You're
there.
the NPC. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, gee, thanks.
No, Xerxes, peace.
Let me just go bug out then.
Quest giver.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. As everyone's assembling, he says, "Thank you for coming." As
Welcome,
always,
man.
I'm not quite exactly sure how to start these.
Just looks at him having stood there before the fire like the whole time we've come in.
Doing that? Yeah, exactly. He's in that.
Obviously posed there waiting.
Yeah, like the thing where like your thumb and index finger like curled over your chin, just like pondering.
I want to say Ariad has like sat there for like a couple hours, and he's just like, maybe I talked with Arkin sometimes. It's just like, but Darius had just stared into the flames, like, He's like,
No, wait.
I don't want to. I don't want
Only
to. I
turning
don't
around
want
when
to.
everyone's
There would
here.
have been some casual talk
Yeah.
until everyone got here. Oh, that's exciting. Like, how's it going? I'm trying to unite a bunch of nomads.
It's going.
Yeah, it's just things are happening. All right. I have some rather distressing news. After the last time we met, I decided to go have another look at the area that the red dragon was scavenging. I know that you don't approve, he says, especially looking over at Demos, anticipating. I had to the first time to make sure that Dareth Axel would be safe, and once I was sure of that knowledge, immediately backed off. However, as curious as it was at the time, I could never quite reconcile the dragon's behavior. I, will admit I wanted to know, but suppressed that impulse. However, after finding out that there were items exist that could give one divinity, that certainly seemed to match up potentially with what it might have wanted. And so I resumed the search. Unfortunately, I didn't find that, and I found something worse. There are tunnels that lead all over Thylea under it, that are flooded out, and they're about as wide as the river of Mitros is. I found no signs through magic, through Dareth Axel's senses, anything of any treasure or gems or anything that the Red may have traditionally wanted, but those tunnels, they're perfect for the Kraken to travel through. I don't think that the dragon was fleeing from it. I think it was hunting it. And that was the one place that it could try and attack, was by digging into the tunnels while the Kraken was in them, which means it's not just an external threat. It could show up anywhere. It may even be making more subtle moves all over Thylea, counting on the fact that we wouldn't expect it to do anything other than on the coasts and the islands. So we need to figure out a way to address this now. Can't be put off anymore.
What about in the Mithril Forge?
It could
There was
even
a giant hole in the ground where something burst out and tore the Cerberus to shreds. I always
it
wonder
could
what
very
that
well
was.
could very well have been the Kraken. I don't know. Maybe something else, but that's the example of what I'm thinking. The reason
Anyone ever patch that up?
I think they did. I think or at least stationed guards on it. I don't think it was possible to patch it
Yeah,
up.
there are guards on it, and eventually they bolted thick metal plates over the hole. Filling it was not an option because it seemed bottomless, and nobody was really super interested in finding out how deep exactly it is or where it goes, so they just bolted metal over it.
The tunnels that I found weren't nearly as wide as that, so it may not have been the Kraken, but that's not good news. That means it's just something else. Hopefully it was. But we saw how amorphous it was, how easy it was to be able to travel through the river in Mitros. So long as it's seeking what it's seeking, there isn't a single person on Thylea who's safe, but I figured the safest place would probably be here. It's in the sky, as close as it can be, potentially populated with creatures that can fly. Artemisia, is there anything that we can do to help with your efforts in establishing more Dragonlords? Still have those eggs that I wanted them to have their own free choices, but perhaps encouraging some more Dragonlords would at least get them hatched so they could fly if they needed to, rather than dying as an egg.
Artemisia shrugs and says, I've not been terribly active in those endeavors. I want to find people that are worthy of a companion in a dragon. But
Understand.
and then she turns to Demos and says, I would imagine that perhaps you have some people in your own military, people that even perhaps you know that may be worthy of proving themselves.
What about Bullbug?
He must
I
nod slightly.
Yeah.
I have been looking out for people for the guard and such. Certainly, I've been kicking Mitros's athletic and military efforts into high gear. That said, I don't know that there should be that many Dragon Lords. Beginning to do something like that would be. We could easily make the same mistake that the new Dragon Lords, as quotation marks almost, did. We want them to actually be worthy and worth something. Beyond that, many people simply work better, I think, without riding a dragon. It's a terrifying experience for them.
Artemisia nods and says that's why I've been looking for people that have proven themselves to be heroes. Local heroes.
And who can be trusted to do the right thing.
Exactly.
Even if they don't become, well, traditional Dragonlords.
Oh,
I mean, yes.
I am working towards having a functioning militaristic city up here. It's just going to take time.
The past heroes, the statues. We were going to, well, get them unpetrified. But, well, the Kraken and everything else has sort of been a distraction. But I would still like to work towards that. Perhaps there are some of them that could bolster our lines and defenses. And from what I remember seeing, they were of all the species of Thylia as well. I think it's important to have some representation folded in.
Agreed.
Whatever happened to those?
Well, the main
And-
issue was that we didn't have.
I think we dragged some of it. I mean,
No, we
were
brought them
there.
back. I remember we
Yeah.
specifically said
Yeah.
that we were going to spend time to.
We're gonna need greater restoration, right? Or
Yeah,
something.
the main problem was that we didn't have Valis, but now that we know where she is again,
Yeah.
that
If
is
she
a
can
thing
still
that
do
we
that.
could do.
If she
we
can
need
still
to
do
find
that,
high cleric.
That's true.
she might just have like the 2 spells a dragon has.
It's
I mean,
true,
but
yeah.
finding, a high priestess of some kind is Or-
If there is one, it would be in Mitros. Of Mitros, probably.
Hmm.
More than likely, yeah.
And Valis would probably know who that is.
I think Demas would know. He's been to the Temple of Mitros multiple
Oh,
times.
it's true, yeah. Yeah, it's true. Demos would know.
Is purchasing spell castings something that's possible?
Let me think.
for the king of Midnight.
It might just not be available.
The issue is mostly that clerics and priests in the past have generally focused on the palpable gods, meaning the lesser gods that actually walk the earth, being, Valis and
Yeah.
Pythor and those aren't really in a position where they can give power anymore, which is why basically a lot of the clergy has lost not all of their power because it's indirectly coming from Mitros, but a lot of it. Mitros directly isn't really revered nearly as much, and Demos wouldn't be able to think of a proper high priestess. Previously, I suppose the position would have been Valis, in a weird sense of irony.
That makes sense.
That's what we'll say. Yeah,
Perhaps
stuff.
the druids, could at least know of. I mean, they revere Thylea above all.
Good thought.
I did have one other thing. If Demos, if you're planning on trying to improve relations with the Centaurs, perhaps warning the Thunderhooves. They're the most likely impacted by this. Certainly more than the Scorch Runners. And they have the dragon's head. If we could get close to it, we could try and speak with it to at least confirm my suspicions.
Not slight grimaces. I think the best thing I can do for that relation is to simply accept that they did not want to talk.
Have you engaged in conversations with the Thunderhoofs? They may not feel the same way as the Scorch Runners.
Possible. How will we even get there?
If
Guess
we
could
go
through the forest.
If we go east, I can teleport us to the waterfall again, and then we make our way north and avoid the Scorch Runners territory completely. The Thunderhooves do directly connect with eastern mainland Thylea.
Right, we could try talking to them. So, I don't anticipate much coming from it. If they were interested in what lies underground, I'm sure their druids would have been able to take a look themselves.
I didn't see any of them.
Yeah, we can plan to go do that. I mean, that'll take a week or two. Not really a big deal.
If you'd rather just take my word for it, but I like to
No,
be
let's
thorough.
go and say hello.
All right.
Then they can tell us not to come here, and maybe we can earn the trust by not doing so again.
As you're talking, perhaps as you're saying these words, even there's a knock at the door, like at the front door. That is sort of hard to hear, but you're legendary heroes.
That shot of like from the door's perspective of all our heads turning towards it.
I imagine Aravandar actually goes. I feel like that's like an Aravandar thing.
Sure, he'll hop up. He's curious. See, what a token.
See how terrible.
Then he like
doors.
pushes the door open.
Kraken just flows in. Here.
Hello.
Right.
Arvander suddenly has a like muscle tight T-shirt on for bouncing.
I suppose that's where the front door is. I thought it was enough. Let me find a token just because it's funny.
The north is a dragon door.
Yeah, the north is the dragon door.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Arvander still goes to the human door.
Arvander opens up and sees a tiny reddish humanoid scaled creature. Arvander doesn't recognize him. Or, well, I suppose he's learning enough to know what he is. They exchange a few words. You can probably hear Arvander being a bit confused. Before Arvander will return with a scroll of paper. Basically, come in again, like gently caressing the scroll in a claw as he reads it, and says out loud, "It appears we're invited to a wedding."
Who's wedding? He's hoping it's he doesn't know its name. He's hoping the Amazons.
I don't know. I have a terrible feeling.
He always likes weddings. It's so happy.
Arvander frowns at the scroll and says, "I'm sure I must have missed something. It says it is between Hades and Archirania." Something festive procession. You are invited at the explicit request of the bride. After the wedding, the two will take an extended leave of absence, traveling the plains or something.
Or can who?
Kira, right?
Kira.
Oh.
No,
Her
so-
dragon name.
well, that's a match I hadn't expected.
Mm. Actually, no, that is on point for Kira. To throw us off
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
No. Throwing us off while also taking Hades out of, like, on a celestial tour, not focused on here. Yeah, that sounds like her.
You must believe in love. I mean, when is it? And how do we go?
The
That
letter
won't be an
does
issue.
not specify how we would get there, and it's apparently in a few weeks.
Oh. All right then. Suppose
Time
we'll
for ascending?
No, she won't respond to ascending, or at least not with anything useful.
Well, I mean, a way to get there, perhaps.
I'm not worried about that. I can get us there.
right. Darius got that figured out. What's the dress code?
Looks
I
too
guess-
like battle gear.
There was a strange fashion that he came in
He
to
must
speak
nod.
with you.
I do not think I could recreate it, but maybe. Imagine Stevenson's suit.
Yeah, I'm imagining all of us in like amazing 1920s outfits.
Pulse down. Sunglasses.
Oh, the dress. Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
Except we wouldn't know about dresses. It would be all of us showing up in a suit.
my fancy kingly toga, I guess. Yeah. I mean, okay, yeah. That's interesting news, at least.
It like Ariad will be like, of course, our Archean and Cirxian, they're invited too, right?
Not, yeah, of course.
But
Yeah, that's all of our +1s spoken for.
Most
Good.
wondering.
Aravanda basically hands one of you the message. It does not mention your dragons. It explicitly mentions the chosen heroes in those words. It does not say how you get there. It does not specify an explicit dress code either.
Okay, but it just says, it doesn't say our names, it just says the chosen heroes.
Yes.
Cool, that's also our dragon, right?
It wouldn't be. The chosen heroes is a very specific term. It is those mentioned in the prophecy. The dragons are not mentioned in the prophecy.
Ariad,
Do
Ariad
you
is
want to go? Xerxes, do you want to go?
Xerxia like ponders for a moment and then says, "Surely there's more to this message than some silly wedding."
He must flips it upside
Um.
down. Stares at the paper. Just someone has some lemon we can rub on there. Maybe there's some invisible text.
Perhaps. You cast detect magic on the letter.
It is faintly magical.
What kind of aura?
It seems to be
Illusion?
like faint evocation, perhaps.
Faint evocation. Interesting.
Oh, maybe it'll just teleport us there when we need to
Cast identify on the letter.
Identify. I think that works. It takes a bit to. It takes a minute to cast the spell. That's fine. As far as
Could do it as a
Darius can
ritual.
tell, yeah, as a ritual it would take even longer.
Mhm.
But as far as Darius can tell, the letter is enchanted so that when you stop paying attention to it, it'll basically self-destruct in an impressive, although harmless way.
Interesting.
Maybe we can see invisible text if we hold it close to fire.
I would have found some illusion magic if that was the case, but perhaps a mundane form of invisible ink, maybe.
What does the letter smell like?
Give me an investigation check.
Yes, that is a skill we don't use often.
I think I have a decent investigation, but
Thanks. What does it smell like?
it was Demos.
I definitely do not.
It smells awful, like sulfur and nothing nice.
Ah, I don't think that's the message.
No.
You're a D8. Yeah. Oh God.
I'll turn to Aravandar and ask who delivered this.
A small creature, I believe it was an imp.
Yes, I've met him once before. Of course.
If
Are
Kira
we
sent it
sure
to
that-
us, we should definitely go.
Are we sure that this is an actual wedding and not perhaps Kira's way of making sure we are there to help her out?
We just need our help.
I suspect that she intends the former, but we could choose to do the latter.
Well, I want to respect her wishes. I'm not. I don't want to interrupt a wedding if it is a sincere one.
We interrupted wedding. We're expressly invited.
Yes.
And previously we had no way of finding her.
Gods and
And-
intentions and all that. I mean,
The creature that she is betrothed to is the one that we must slay to free her. So it is very much an either-or scenario.
maybe we can change his mind.
I don't think so, Demos.
What do you bring a. Well, he is some kind of divine being, yes?
It is Hades himself.
He wants like souls and stuff.
Well, that's not a wedding gift I'm willing to give.
I'll bring him some Mitrosian wine. It's always appreciated. I think.
Well, it
I
sounds
think
like
they
we're
have a lot
going.
of seafood there.
Well,
Sounds like we have a few weeks to think about it at least.
yes, about. I'll. Currently, I'm trying to. Well, I set out to gather the winged messengers, which I have started working towards, but the sirens are wishing to try and reestablish contact between the tribes. And, well, perhaps while doing that, I will try and investigate, or at least try and find some way for us to help the petrified people. She looks to like there is. It sounds like you have more than enough on your platter.
I appreciate
Oh.
that, but you can always.
Oh, I'll message you.
Mhm. I think that's
Text-
a great
texting.
idea. I legitimately feel that Bullbug has earned it if it's something he wants.
Well, sure.
I think to quote him, he doesn't want, like, he just wants to be a minotaur in the arena, right? Like, he doesn't, he was offered to be like vice, like, you know,
Henchman, good
yeah.
guard. He just wants to fight in the arena and eat a lot.
yeah. And he should. He gets fucking free
Good, no,
whatever.
Yes, I mean it's a
Mhm.
huge drain, but we had to cut some hard cuts someplace. I mean, who even uses the public school system anyway? So
I mean, there's a perfectly fine military academy.
Yeah,
I turned out
send
fine.
all the kids there. God.
Okay.
Jokes aside, Deimos knows how important it is to have people who want to do all the like nerdy stuff because they make things work. But Bulbuck said he just wanted to do that, and so he's been doing that.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
that was his thing, lifting
he's the
butchering.
opposite of ambitious.
Mhm.
So Deimos really has a lot of them in it. It's sort of like what they were doing and have been doing it mostly.
Mhm. I can't
Really
think
hasn't
of
been a
any
huge amount of
NPC
change.
of anyone else that we worked with during the Oath of Peace, though. No.
Well, it hasn't been that many years since since
Mhm.
we worked Dragon. I'm sure
No, it
if
hasn't.
I don't think it makes a lot of sense to look for people.
No, I
Those
think
that are
Ariad's
ready,
onto
they will
something with
find us.
the petrified statues. They should be freed anyway, and they
Um,
sought out to find and defeat Sidon. Yes, they failed in their endeavor, but that's incredibly brave, especially when you're not prophesized to do so.
When I go and talk to these centaurs, I will go through the woods anyway, and I can see if there's some of the druids there. I think I have one little bit of respect from them by stopping any logging activity. Maybe I can
Mhm.
garner some of that to ask for help with this, or at least to find out if it's possible.
That
All
sounds
right.
like an excellent idea.
So our two lines of pursuing this are finding more potential Dragonlords, and we still need to find a way to lure the Kraken somewhere.
Yes, I was thinking perhaps, well, if we could garner good relationships with the druids, certainly nature magic might be a good approach to try and block some of those tunnels. I mean,
That's a good idea.
they were dug, so they can't be dug again, of course, but it'll take time at least.
Well, even just softening the earth under some of them would cause them to collapse, right?
Yes, earth melt, or do you remember in the lair of that blasted dragon, there were vines and things that would make the path harder.
Right. Yeah.
It's not magic that I am used to perform, but I have felt a call to nature
Well,
after everything. I I think it could work.
Eudora used to be very proficient with exactly that type of magic, and those are her people. So I would imagine so. I imagine that as a collective, they could do some great things.
Yes.
I also need a way to lure it there. That's the less pleasant part. I've only thought of one thing so far that could do it, but don't really want to.
Well, we can't lure it before we have some kind of solution, right?
Trap set, yeah. Sounds like either way, visiting the druids and then the centaurs would be our next step.
Yeah.
And what this? So that be like letter. Nothing weird seems to be about it.
Alright, we'll read it again just to. It's just frowning. They don't invite her dragon?
What does it say exactly?
Her adopted daughter?
So, while I don't have the
Rude.
exact wording for you, to summarize the things that the letter says, it is very curt, very, very short. Basically says some generic greeting. The chosen heroes are invited to attend the wedding of Hades and Acarania, and that's pretty much it.
Specify the time and date.
It does specify the time and date, but not even the location.
That could be an excuse to cast Sending on Arcurania. Saying like received your invitation. That's good news.
Where?
Yeah, exactly.
Address?
RSVP, yes for all. However, need address. Can arrange own transport. Love Darius.
You get no response.
Yep,
Wow.
figured as much.
It's rough over here, man.
hmm It's also possible that I may be reading those or listening to them somehow, filtering them.
Yeah, maybe Hades is a jealous type, you know?
Yeah, no response there as well. Could also mean that the spell didn't reach in the first place.
Yeah, it's a slim chance, so I'm gonna place my money on a different reason. I think it's something like a 5% chance. So that would just
there
be
might be
bad
other
luck.
reasons than just the 5%.
Exactly. That's sort of what I'm getting at. Well, then, the last time that I showed up in Hades, that imp was waiting for me, so I'm going to assume that you probably just do the same. Sorry, were you going to say something, Harriet?
Oh, no, Is there more we need to discuss? While we're here, it's so rare that we're all in the same place at once, after all.
It is odd. It's nice. It's really good to see you all. Don't think so. Demos, would you like company to talk to the druids and the centaurs? I mean,
Sure. Everyone's welcome.
all right. I'll make my way and go wake up Dareth Axel. She's probably been peeping this whole time.
I mean, I expect all the dragons are listening. That's no... Even Arabanda, even if he's like sitting with a book, he's probably listening.
He's doing that thing where he just like puts the book just barely beneath his eyes so that he can push it up if he needs to. But can watch.
It's a very big book.
Extremely big. Yeah.
Giant book. Don't you know? The bigger the book, the better. That's...
Artemisia got a bunch of books copied in large format for him.
I just imagined a little tower that gets bigger as it goes towards the base. It starts off with like regular sized books and then gets to huge books. And Aravandar is just like, I have to read every book while I can. I keep growing. He's like prioritize them by size.
I used to read to him.
Aww.
I imagine she'd go back to that if he's super big.
Need to establish a library. I suppose this is it, but...
At the moment, yeah. I think I might knock out the dining room and make
I
that
was
a
just
library.
thinking about Ariad going to make dinner.
Well, I think we can move the table, like the place settings, put them into the hall when we need them.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, that's the only room that's like big enough for like
Big
we also
dragons.
want the dragons to be able to have
Yeah,
be able to eat at.
If you go fold out furniture and put it in the corner, then you have a lot of space and you just bring it out when you need it.
Yeah, exactly. So
I want to say this is the actual conversation between them. Like I was like,
Become adults who are just like discuss home decoration.
The decoration aspect starts. Oh yeah, that's a go. We can make some dinner.
there's also like a sitting room in the upper floor that has some shelves, and of course, Artemisia's room has some books, like some shelves, bookcases.
Ariad always cooks for Argan.
Oh, Artemisia, have you
actual food?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, good.
What?
Have you talked with Echo recently? I mean, I sort of think her mission statement may be moot now.
Ah, if it's moot, then I can tell her.
Still, perhaps there may be other avenues that she can confirm or prove otherwise.
Artemisia shrugs. I'll get in contact with her.
All right.
See what's happening. Otherwise, I'll be staying around here. I've got a city to build.
All right. I imagine we probably just spend the rest of the night hanging out and then do our thing in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we're here. Might as well just go to the druids now. I mean,
I just realized I placed the dragon icon right beside a link of sausages. Yeah, you know what? This is what Argan's doing.
Yum, 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 yum. It's like, oh, I was just about to go ask if Ariad wants help, but all right, yeah, sure, if we're leaving now.
I mean,
His
it was
Majesty's
like,
command.
Oh man.
let's go do a thing.
Yeah.
Harriet cooks and goes into the river, then everyone's gone. Oh.
I don't know. We'll wait until the next day. I'm not a savage, but
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say like the big meal, 3/4. Oh.
Dimas
Aw.
loves food.
Okay,
He's
good.
mostly given you know.
Yeah, we have like
He
a
has- he
nice
has
round
cooks.
table dinner together for the first time. Aw.
Just like at home.
Oh no, we need more plates for the dragons.
Well, Sochi can turn into a person if that helps. She has a human form. Amazon.
Yeah, she has been doing that a lot less recently.
Plus, she's a
Doesn't really
cool
need-
dragon. I mean,
A dragon lord.
Artemisia, you don't get a plate apparently.
yeah.
It's
Shit.
alright. She doesn't need to eat. Actually, I think she does still.
I was gonna say. I mean, I
At some
made nice
point,
fruit.
I become such a good monk that I don't need to eat.
I mean, let's be honest. Even though it's Artemisia's like, if Ariad is cooking, she'll just be hosting. You know, she'll be grandmaing all this thing. Like, oh, there's more food.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's you bringing in stuff. Like, I found this. Just oh, do you need more? Oh, Argan, you need a little more. I see that empty here.
Darius does that thing where he walks into the kitchen that someone else has fully under control, but is just like, do you need help in here? Is there anything I can do?
I think he's thrown out. So
I can mage
no.
hand a couple dishes over. No? Okay.
or it's like whirring around. That's how I feel when I'm cooking. I need peace. Yeah, and then the next day, it's travel time.
Yeah.
Freshly packed rations. You know.
Yeah.
Crafted a new spell. I call it Ziploc.
If
Tupperware.
only.
Go and talk to some druids.
Yes.
And in short, ask them, you know there's weird tunnels full of water under the land of Thylea. And how can we be of help to you now? I mean, you know, just a courtesy question. And then beyond that, you know, could you turn people who are turned into stone into not stone? Ideally into people.
Yes, it's like, oh,
And also-
flowers. Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
No paraphrasing.
And also, if you're amenable to it, would love to collapse said tunnels with the Kraken in it.
What?
Oh, nothing. We'll get there.
I think we'll generally stick to paraphrasing. I'm not sure how this would play out really.
Okay.
Finding the druids in quotation marks proves a bit of a challenge in the
Always
first place.
hard.
As always,
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not like one cohesive faction with like headquarters where they always meet. However, Darius knows his way around at this point.
Yeah, me and Arian have made a
has
couple.
also been there.
We've
Yeah.
probably made like 2 or 3 friends, and we can just ask for them.
You are known, which is the way how you contact them. You walk into the general area and look like you need something, and if the people and inhabitants are generally friendly to you, there might be like a dryad who approaches you and asks what's up. And you are in fact generally well liked in these woods. Pretty much all of you, really. The fact that Metros has not been aggressively chopping down trees, but rather has found people who are actually in tune with nature doing it instead, has certainly bought you a lot of plus points, to the point where getting an audience is easy after the initial hurdle of finding anyone. Not an audience with the entire conclave of druids that only really meets for very, very important issues, important to them anyways. But the odd dryad who seems to have taken an interest. Those sorts of druids, basically. Some
Elders.
Yeah, the some of them definitely on the elder druid level. And considering your recent actions, if you want some of the more powerful druids to help you out with turning those from stone to people again, they can do that. They'll even handle the material costs associated with that. It's the least they can do, cooperation and such.
Yeah, like material costs matter to us anymore.
Still, it's a very nice,
Ah!
very
It's a
nice
nice
gesture.
gesture.
I would say Greater Resto is not cheap, especially if you're doing it like 100 times.
I mean, I suppose 100 times, but otherwise we got dozens of.
I think you like
thousands.
bankrupted me when I needed this. Oh no, I'm getting mixed up. Different campaign.
So yeah, I'm gonna put a token for here.
Yeah, 100 GP per casting of it.
I mean, even then, we could afford 100 greater restorations from the bank.
Oh yeah, no, for
Well,
sure.
Actually, we could probably afford
it's still a very nice
600,000.
gesture.
600.
Look, we are remodeling a dining room soon. We need
to,
you
to
know
be
what,
frugal.
Hey, I've
we're
already
gonna pay the workers.
I've already
well.
got a budget of 25,000 gold set aside for this city. Like,
All
I
right.
am sure some of those funds can go to the new dining room.
Just saying. See?
All right, let me be more specific here to build something for the future, perhaps. The nebulous the druids you talk to is in fact one that both Darius and Ariad have probably seen lurking in the background. A dryad who, perhaps unlike some of the other elder druids, hasn't been openly making use of the authority, her powers, and her influence over nature giver, but has always been there, and she will take care of your turning people back into people needs here, because you've done a lot of good things, and those actions should be reciprocated. However, on the topic of potentially collapsing those tunnels, she is hesitant. Not because she doesn't take your concern seriously, but rather because those tunnels she is aware of, and they are natural. They've been built by erosion and the strange tidings of the seas around Philea, and are as much part of the land as the rivers and the mountains are. So collapsing them just because they can be
Oh.
used by a creature you're in opposition with, that doesn't sit well with her.
Oh my
In
god,
addition-
it's like the blood vessels
Uh,
of Thylea?
they
my
could
God.
be, that would be very flowery language, not literally.
Yes, oh yeah, I mean, we are talking to a dryad though, so.
In addition, as far, she'll ask what this kraken creature has done to deserve your opposition in the first place, and while she doesn't want to be rude, so far it has only targeted Mitros, ever. It has broke a statue and it broke your academy. That doesn't seem like a deal where the entire landmass should have all tunnels
Yeah.
collapsed.
I was gonna address this, but to answer that exact question, it's specifically seeking out Sidon's power for itself. It sees, it's basically trying to start the domination game all over again. And we are sort of looking blindly in terms of who that affects.
Well, she will answer with an answer that probably typical for druids. They will ponder and think, and if
If
it'll
they have a
benefit
better
nature and
suggestion,
Phylea as
yeah.
a whole, then they'll probably act.
Also, they know these things better than we do. They have nothing against the tunnels and certainly nothing against Xylea. So if there's a better way to isolate it in a way that we can actually, have the higher ground as opposed to facing in the ocean, like all for, revisions. Trapping into those tunnels was just the only thing I could think of.
She pauses at that, ponders, basically says, if she can think of a solution, she might get back to you. But knowing that she is an immortal tree creature, that might be decades.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be hasty.
Little orcs.
Nobody's on my side.
So yeah, long story short, the instruction she gives you is basically to put all those statues into the forest near Mitros and wait, and good things will happen.
Cool. That's what we're gonna do.
I have heard that good things come to those who wait.
We'll need to set up like a trauma center.
Yeah, I
Because-
was thinking that. I was like,
Yeah.
someone should greet them and be like,
Do
okay,
not.
take it easy,
Yeah.
you're
Sidon was
safe.
defeated. Everyone
Yeah.
you know is dead. The future for your people is bleak. But we can make good use of you.
Okay,
You know who might be good for that is
the one who should talk with them.
we get like
I
Aesop
see.
or someone to sort of be there for them.
I think our characters can work together to collect a team
Hmm.
to help them with this. I don't think we need to detail that up.
Yeah,
Hmm.
just to say that they're not just spawned somewhere and like,
Yeah, we don't just put a sign in the ground that says Mitros this way, or
Yeah.
city this way, other city that way.
They're 1,000 years old.
I was gonna say, Ariad understands being pretty
humans wouldn't even
lost,
have been here.
having everyone forget about her and her history and everything. She definitely feels like they need to be helped.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well done.
Mhm. Also, Artemisia, can we move the Dragon Spa to your location?
Happily, yeah. The city that I'm building is going to be very dragon friendly.
Mhm.
Like wider streets, bigger openings to buildings,
Mhm.
Dragon
I still don't want to
friendly.
force any of them to be Dragonlords if they don't want to, but those eggs, probably should
Oh,
be
yeah.
hatched sooner than later. And putting them in a place that's very tall on a mountain and then they can fly is better than having them in a city.
I do agree.
All right, I guess we do that. And then what was next? Going to the Centaurs?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
hearing if they are okay with you taking a look around.
Yes, the Thunder Hooves.
We'll approach that much like Demas did Scorchrunner, specifically. Like, let's walk in and be disarming. We're here to talk, not to fight. And certainly we want to put ourselves at a disadvantage so they know that.
Mhm.
Maybe no dragons then.
Yeah. That's right.
Do
No
we all
dragons.
want to go to that? Is that like a
you're welcome to come.
Well, that's the thing. I think Ariette would like to. She would like to,
Sure.
but at the same
Then you
time,
should.
we're like 4 legendary heroes.
Oh.
So, like even if we show up without weapons, it's like
I
some.
think honestly, Artemisia is not that invested in going to the Thunder Hooves, and she's got projects. Like she's not
Dining
overly
room.
invested in going. She's fine with staying and doing her own thing. Unless you guys request it, she does her own thing typically. Like that's how we've vibed.
Yeah, I think Ariette would want to go. She hasn't had much contact with the Centaurs, but I mean they're one of the monstrous races, and she's such. She wants to make a network. So
Mhm. I think it might be good. I mean, just as players, if something does happen, having Artemisia there,
Yeah.
so that you can play the game. But perhaps the in-world justification could be something along the lines of like, yeah, rumors have probably spread about us, and if we show up, just 3 of us, they the more paranoid sides of them, or might very reasonably go, okay, so where's the 4th one?
Sure.
And feel like we're, setting an ambush for them or something.
Yeah. Okay. Tag along there. That's fine.
And if something does happen, it's always better to have you there than not. You've gotten us out of a jam many times.
And gotten us into many crab jams before.
does Artemisia eat crabs after having spent so many times as a crab?
So many times once.
But it was a legend.
The answer is no. She has an affinity of crabs now. I like them. They're nice.
There'll be an aquarium in the study.
Yeah,
It's like a weird power thing. Every time she kills a crab that's not her and eats it, it's like, haha, not me. This is not me. I am in control.
Nah, she quite likes crabs. She understands crabs now. On a
Yeah.
spiritual level.
She's been in their mind.
She understands where they've been. What it means to be crab.
Mhm.
So, And if they have a language, she can at least talk to them now. Because level 13 monks can just talk to everything.
Oh.
Crazy.
I see that gif of the crab walking with a dagger.
Been studying the art of Thai crab.
Yes, I do. I do understand crabs very well.
Yeah. I have trained
Anyway.
them. I have an army of monk crabs.
Oh no. Natural weapon? Shit.
Natural weapons. All of them.
All right, we go to the Thunderhoof sheep.
Yes.
All right.
It's been so long. All the banter.
Paris will stay in the back.
Take a step back. What is your approach here? How do you approach their lands and where from?
I can teleport us to just north of the Dead Falls, like still in Phylea or in I guess the Mortal Race territory. Whatever that's called, non-native territory or conquered land. Yes, no, you know what I'm saying. And then we can just walk north from there. Should avoid the Scorched Runners altogether, and but the same tactic of walking on the land, even the dragons. And Darius knows where to go.
All
Yeah.
right. There.
Focusing without dragons and trying to be as friendly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But you might want to take this, Demos and Ariad. I think you guys have the best relationships here. Certainly not me.
He's like, but I have never been here before.
Yep, exactly.
I looks to Darius like, oh, I'm guessing I don't want to know.
Misunderstanding. went bad.
That's what Demos used to say about the bar fights.
Yeah, well, this one didn't have like 5 centuries of bad history as missing context behind it.
So you teleport to the Deadfalls, walk north. You have to cross a forest for quite some distance. Although a few hours, really. Might get accosted by like a wolf or two on the way, but that's not really.
Dinner. Okay.
That's dinner at worst. And eventually cross into the steppes of northern Phylea. But I do want to stress they stretch for as far as your eye can see, basically. It's hundreds and hundreds of kilometers just of a variety of savanna and flatlands and even tundras further to the north. It is not easy to find anything that isn't like stationary in this plains, which the Centaurs most definitely are not. However, Darius has a decent idea of which rough direction to go. It's going to be a bit of a trip, especially without dragons. But chances are that you'll be intercepted long before then. It will, however, not happen on your first day. You walk and walk and walk north, and eventually the sun starts setting.
Sorry, just to clarify, did we not bring the dragons? I thought we were just even the dragons were walking on foot.
Oh, did I misunderstand? I thought I heard
No,
you say you leave the dragons
should-
behind.
We should not bring dragons.
Okay.
They really
Sure.
hate. Yeah, I mean, we know where we're going, right? So we'll just camp and then keep walking.
Yeah, you basically get to somewhere like here.
We can set up a camp. It'll be tempting.
Why do we need to set up a camp? I've got an instant fortress.
Yeah, but
You know,
you
we
don't
should
like
not
us
use
putting
that.
fortresses
We should
out
we
here.
should not use the interest. In fact, we shouldn't even take a watch, because the
Ah.
whole point here is to be disarming and to present ourselves as non-hostile as possible.
Okay.
I think we should just have protect ourselves from the elements or whatnot, but not use a fortress and just go to bed. And I bet we'll just wake up to them with spears at our throats or something. If there's an animal or something, we'll handle it.
I mean, what animals? Fair
Exactly.
land. As far as the eye can
Exactly.
see.
It's their lands. They're going to be the ones who find us if they're not already watching.
Yeah, I think once we've gotten like a day in, we're just gonna stay here and camp until they approach us. We're not gonna trespass any further.
Hmm.
All right. And you don't take a watch. As it turns out, it's not necessary to take a watch. Not because you don't get accosted after nightfall, deep in the night, but rather because they announce themselves with probably the signature thundering hoofs. You've basically got about like half a minute's worth of time before they actually arrive, but you can already like feel the ground shake a bit as a reasonable number of centaurs, like a small army basically, seem to be rushing straight towards you. In addition, no perception check required. You do see a light flitting about in the sky, a fiery reddish flame.
Hmm.
What? Oh.
That
Oh.
would be the one who hates me.
I thought that was the Scorch Runner thing, not a Thunderhoof thing.
Yeah, but still, they
Oh.
may have different territories. There's nothing saying that they don't talk to each other. I
Ah.
expected this might have happened.
Yeah, you can put your tokens like on the Mitros map here. I think that's appropriate.
On the Thylia map.
Yes, on the 5D map. Sorry. Let's see, where do I have that? As the centaurs get closer, You can make out some details, as some of them are like wielding torches, basically, illuminating them in like a spooky, subtle light that highlights some features of theirs. As these centaurs, unlike the ones that Darius has encountered last time, the last time they were, well, first of all, flying, lightly armored and with bows. These ones are heavily armored, much larger, physically larger, wielding pike. Excuse me, wielding pikes that are
Oh no.
slightly like a bluish tint that occasionally jumps around them. They are basically like tanks rushing straight at you. Let me.
Tanks
The-
with pikes, you say?
Yeah, they are heavily armored. Their token pictures will not represent that, but
Are they being
Uh,
led by a cuttlefish?
they are not. And since the phoenix is so far above you, I'm going to make it smaller.
It also says giant eagle.
It sure is. It's a
Yee.
flaming giant eagle as far as you're concerned.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Before
exactly.
before the centaur horde, there's more than that. There's 12 of them. There we go. That's 10. 12. Before, however, they crash right into you a few 100 feet away. They branch out into two streams of bodies, basically running circles around you, almost as if enclosing you in like a arena-esque space, or perhaps just trying to intimidate you. You know, they're doing that thing where they just surround you. They are as loud as possible. They're showing off their features, but they're not directly engaging.
Just wait for them to come to a halt.
And about like so. After a little while, a few rounds, so to speak, one of the centaurs separates from the circle of hoofs, basically, to come a bit closer before he stops. Well, he doesn't really stop. He rears up, and then with a stomp that almost echoes, he touches the ground with his like front hoofs again, before he sticks his pike, where lightning is dancing across it, into the ground. Before he, well, basically shouts over at you. You have come into our land again, despite having been warned not to do so by our sister tribe. Speak.
So, we were not aware that you two that they were speaking for you when they said that. If it is your wish, we will leave right away.
Of course, you would not have been aware of our unity. You think of us at. No, I'm blanking on the word. As uncultured barbarians, as nothing but animals trying to survive. The thought of us having culture must be unheard of. It is no surprise. I do not take offense of your ignorance, and I have been told that your approach here suggests care, perhaps even a modicum of respect, hence why we're talking. So speak your words and then leave.
No, man. He wants to say, we came here for two things. We know, firstly, that tunnels lie within Thylea, underground rivers, wherein a creature called the Kraken lives or moves around. We believe, it looks to Terrio slightly and says, that it has moved around the lands under these plains. Wish to know if you know something about it, and if you did not, to at least warn you. The thing is very dangerous.
Any creature that trespasses in our land with ill intent is slain. This creature will be no different.
Good to hear. Beyond that, I understand you did the very same to a red dragon, as spoken by your allies. My
He nods, just like a punch on his metal plated chest, sign of pride perhaps. Yes, it trespassed as others have before, and it got its just reward.
says you're right. Is there any chance that we might? And he again glances to Darius. Says, look upon its head. My ally believes he can find vital information about this beast that might have trespassed below these lands. If he could but access its head.
Give me a persuasion check.
There. A lovely persuasion here. Also, a natural 20. Well, look at that.
Nice.
That's
He's
net
trying his
20.
best to befriend these centaurs. He
Damn.
actually thinks they're pretty cool now that he looks at them.
I mean, they are.
Look at them. They're pretty cool. At least I'm not playing a centaur because then I would be medium sized. They will be large, and I'd feel.
The leader of this band pauses. And then Demos is pretty sure that his reasons here are not because he wants to, fulfill your request, but rather because he thinks it's a good opportunity to show off, basically. Says, I suppose we could let you see our trophy. You do not seem to take us seriously. Perhaps that will change your mind. It was a great beast, much bigger than your pets.
Awkward pause. Like
Mhm.
pets. Like.
Yeah. It was just
There's a like a hawk screech coming from above, which makes this guy pause as he sort of glances upwards for a second and says, "We will allow 3 of you to come, but not him." As they point towards Darius.
Oh, I mean, that's the best we can get, I guess.
Can any of you cast Speak with Dead?
No.
Nope. No, that's necromancy. So I have none of that.
Ah, that's magic.
Hey, the dead should remain dead.
Let's go
Yeah,
take a look.
it doesn't resurrect them. Yeah, you can still look. You know what? I will look up at Tanara and cast Sending. And say to her, I will do something Sidon never did. I am sorry. There is no excuse for my actions other than ignorance, which I wish to correct. We are here to try to help against a immeasurable threat, Unfortunately, I am the only one who can do so. But the decision is still yours.
The response that Darius gets to the sending is, say it out loud.
I am sorry. My actions in the past were driven by nothing but ignorance, which I wish to correct. My allies and I are here to try to help you and the rest of all Thylians against an immeasurable threat. But sadly, I am the only one able to do so. However, the decision remains yours.
The Centaur captain here is a bit confused, but sees that it seems to be in exchange between Darius and Tanara.
Oh yeah, I mean he doesn't hide the sending at all. He has to take out the
Yeah.
quill, and then you probably see like a wind of words and stuff go up.
He glances over up to the bird, sort of with a raised eyebrow, but responds with something that, bird sounds, that the captain seems to interpret as, an acceptance. He sort of shrugs his heavily armored body, and says, "Well, I suppose all of you can come then."
I will leave as soon as what's been done, even if my allies require to stay. Gives a deep nod.
Did the Phoenix say anything like untoward about us? Because I mean, Artemisia understands all spoken language.
Well, if you say spoken language, that doesn't really apply now, does it?
I mean,
let me look that up if you can understand. Like,
can you understand Sylvan?
it says all.
I can understand Sylvan.
Moreover, any creature that understands a language can understand what you say. Tongue of the sun and moon.
I suppose I'll let it apply. Basically, she didn't really say anything elaborate at all. It's more like a sound.
Fine.
Yeah.
A sound that this captain will probably interpret in some way, and if it were to be interpreted in the wrong way, she'd make sure that it is, in fact, interpreted in the right way. She basically just said, just made the first noise as a reminder that there's a person among your group who she does not like, which the captain correctly interpreted. And the second noise was, it's good enough.
Okay. At least we know that it's not a, okay, let them in, but we'll kill them later.
But he basically says, well then, get back to your rest. We'll move out once the sun rises. As the group of Centaurs will distance themselves, still staying in sight, but stopping for a change and watching from a distance.
Right. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll move these out of the way. The day after, you are led further north in the direction you've basically already been going. Until after a few hours, basically, you crest some sort of slight hill, and in a valley that keeps the entire collection of tents and mass of centaurs down there, mostly hidden from the general horizon and such, you find a actually quite sizable camp. It is the same camp that Darius has spotted previously out of the air. Most of the buildings, and you can almost at least call them buildings, are more like semi-permanent tents. Some pretty damn sizable, like halls almost. Most are just smaller buildings with probably some purpose. There are different like wooden structures that seem to be holding like the hides of various animals, baskets and piles, and it's basically the equivalent of a lively town. One that seems actually give me perception checks.
I was gonna say, Arya is trying to just like take everything in. This is a whole tribal culture she hasn't seen much of. She's like,
Yeah, you know what, Erad, you can do that with advantage if you don't already have advantage, as everyone does apparently.
oh no, I do not, and I have a +1 modifier, so I'll take that.
I've got shields that do things.
Mhm.
Oh well, I'll need that advantage. Hey.
Oh damn!
Hey.
Pretty good.
Oh, we're all rolled more than 20 or 20 and more.
Well,
I think that's
alright.
Demos's
That's Demos's
persuasion.
Yeah, there are a
But so far, so good.
variety of notable sites. Perhaps the obvious one first. There aren't only centaurs here. It's of course like 95% centaurs, but there appears to be somewhat of a, call it like an emissary, perhaps, a group of minotaurs. That are sort of hanging around the largest building, basically. And with those minotaurs, not just them, but there's also a giant, like a not a troll, but not quite a giant either, as far as you've seen in the past, at least. But definitely a giant humanoid of some description. Towering over, well, basically everything except the buildings. They seem to be there in their little group, idling about. In addition, you see another non-centaur person who also spots you, like some moments later, which appears to be Echo. She does like a double take and then turns away again from you, sort of ignoring you. One of the last things, 26 is pretty good. Maybe not exactly appropriate for perception, but still. I suppose it would be, especially for Darius. A lot of these centaurs do not seem to be from the Thunderhoof tribe. Like, looking around, you can clearly see like their own signature things, sort of. The Thunderhoof seem to be very much favoring like heavy armor and their lightning pikes, their storm pikes. You can definitely see a few of the Scorchrunner druids as, they hang about Tanara in their own like little group of whatever this is. And there's a variety of others, all like with different individual things about them. Some have very fancy looking bows, for example, that sparkle in like the same lightning as the Thunderhoof storm pikes do. Others have like a strange liking to like blackened pendants, like almost like fetish like. And they're all sort of in their own clumps as if visiting. The last but not least, a thing that doesn't even need a perception check. As you're led sort of towards the center of the camp with a very close-knit escort, basically not letting you explore on your own at any speed, under the eyes of, well, all of the visitors and inhabitants, really, who are hesitant to hostile at your present. You, of course, see the head of a red dragon hung up above the entrance of the large hall in the camp's center. It's certainly large, like not enormous, but must have been of a dragon that was slightly larger than yours. A sizable creature, sure, but maybe your centaur escorts were exaggerating slightly.
Definitely
Alright.
enough to call for a meeting of some kind.
Well, there it is. Here we are.
I don't
Oh,
have
I'm
a
up.
good map. Do I have a map for this? Maybe I do have a map for this. Let me check.
I'm not moving unless and until I'm given permission to do so. They know why we're here.
Wait, I do have a map for this.
I'll be honest, I did not expect that to work with Tanara. I'm still gonna assume we're skating on thin ice. He wouldn't know that phrase. A Philian Greek equivalent of that phrase.
Alright, copy your tokens for me so I can make this slightly more interesting.
Yeah. I
Copied.
wonder what they're doing and such. They just don't want to talk. You know.
That'll do. Fetch some of these. Or just sort of hanging about here. It'll be representative enough.
Do we have a new map?
In a second.
Okay.
I'll make it visible for you so you can load it.
Sure.
And figure out how to do that.
Huh.
There we go.
Heartlands.
Ah, look at that. There's already
Versions
an
of us
Arsenal
from
as well.
forever ago.
Yeah. Not even that long ago. Same hit points.
Need this guy. Sorry for the delay.
No worries. Take a bio break as well while we're setting up.
Oh, come on, where's it? There it is. I didn't copy that. Ugh. Okay. Last but not least, I need to find Echo's token. Done. Okay. Hang on there. All right, put your tokens here.
Pick up place than I thought.
It is a large place indeed. See, I forgot your escort. There you go. Some of them slip off. That's fine. Let me make them visible for you.
Oh, I couldn't bring Juniper. Don't have such powers.
Couldn't bring Juniper?
Yeah, Sarah's gone to the loo.
Ah, okay.
I couldn't move Juniper from the Heartland map.
Wait, why can I click on? Did I make them? I made them objects, didn't I? Oh, fuck me.
Ah, the amount of times I've done that.
All of these objects? Yes, they are. Great. Okay, made them tokens. Set echo. All right, is everyone back?
Yeah, I am.
I am here.
Oh, I'm back. Hello.
All right. See, I'm gonna center you again. Yeah, it's just an abstract representation. Like the area isn't super flat. Like there's these tent-like buildings, probably easy enough to collapse and transport. Well, most definitely easy enough to collapse and transport, but still quite heavy. You are basically led to the central building over which the head of a dragon is mounted on like a wooden construct. Do I have a dragon head in my? I don't think
You
I do.
must. Surely there's one that's just cropped out.
I mean, I know of a red dragon that has a token that is just a head.
Hey.
It's true. You know what?
Cameo. I'm sorry, I'm terrible.
Kill your character.
Kill your darlings, right?
That's a dragon head.
Hey.
Hey.
I mean, it's probably the right size, honestly.
Oh shit.
Alright. Now, hit that dead state, sheep.
As the captain of the centaur hunting band, basically, without turning to actually look at you, says, "Wait here." As he will head inside of the large tent. And that's like a flap that he just pushes past. Conversations around you, start picking up again. There was a bit of a silence as you were led inside. As you are certainly recognizable, to say the least, even without your dragons.
Oh my god, Tanara's token is so cool.
As a few moments later, the captain returns. This time, followed by an even larger centaur, which seems impossible at this point. His token doesn't represent it, but just trust me. This one, not only like physically larger to the point where he's approaching huge size almost, at least compared to the other centaurs, but also wearing armor that isn't just like metal plates, but
Praxis.
but properly like form fitted for a centaur. It looks old, got like a few like runic inscriptions, although they're likely not magical, and apparently made out of something other than steel. It definitely highlights him as someone of importance. Who will basically approach you. He glares at his excuse me, at his fellow centaur before he turns towards you and says, "It appears I've granted you my hospitality despite my best wishes. Welcome, then, chosen heroes of the mortal races. I want to congratulate you on your temporary victory.
Thank you. It was very hard fought, but I hope there's no hard feelings.
He does a bit of a scoff before he slightly turns away from you and says, "Well, you've come here under the banner of negotiation, I've been told. At least as far as Tanara is concerned, you seem like you have intentions other than outright hostility, which is a novel thought. What backstabbery, then, do you have planned that you needed to be in our midst for? This is your opportunity. Do it. Show everyone what you're all about."
Putting those words to the side for a moment, we wish to show that misunderstandings have been on both sides. Our history has not been something to be proud of. We wish to change that. In that effort, there is a creature rivaling Sidon in its power and rivaling Sidon in its intent that we believed until recently was limited until just the oceans, that the land was safe. I have reason to believe that that's not true, and that the creature that you made pay the price for underestimating you knew that. Believe that it was hunting the creature underground. And I may be able to confirm that for myself by speaking with it. This would serve everyone to know and prepare together.
He glances at you and then the head of the slain dragon, that at this point doesn't look so fresh anymore. That doesn't seem to bother anyone. Before he says, "Well, I see no harm in that, other than the fact that I'm sure that your necromantic magics will not spoil our trophy now, will it?"
No. Other
What-
than to see it move briefly. It's not a
What-
pleasant thought.
What then, pray tell, do we get in return?
What would you like?
He glances over to Demos. Give me an insight check.
Because that's sort of something Demas has tried to figure out. They just wanted to leave whenever he asks them. Just like, go away. 19.
Damn, dude. You're
Yeah.
on fire today.
Fate wants me to know these things.
He scratches his chin. Demos is quite sure that this guy is not about diplomacy. Like, chances are the fact that he's speaking to you in this way is only because he's surrounded by a bunch of people who expect him to be some sort of negotiator in this current moment, and he's just trying to play the part. And Demos is also quite sure he never actually expected to stand face to face with you, like the chosen heroes in particular, and actually get to like name a price. He seems to be floundering a bit. But eventually, he doesn't show that outwardly, but Demos gets that feeling at least. You know, he's a warrior who's all bluster, trying to play wise, but really just wants to smash some heads in, but can't. But after a few like steps around as he thinks, he says, "I want something you will not be willing to give. I want a favor of the chosen heroes. Something reasonable, something done in the future, something done without hesitation. As far as my friends over there," as he sort of gestures over to the Minotaurs, "are concerned, you are well acquainted with the trading of services. This would not be like that. We're not like you. I simply want to know that I can ask for one thing and one thing only in the future, and you will do it without hesitation." Give me another insight check here.
Well,
I mean, so long as it's not against like our allegiance.
natural 20. Look at
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Okay.
Bam!
that. Hey, I'm rolling natural everything's here because I got no
How's it-
bonus. So.
I'm just gonna lean back and leave it to Manica.
I mean, I would even have given you an advantage on this, which you didn't need. Because this is sort of a situation that Demos has probably not been in the first time. The talk between two warriors trying to, you know, talk to each other in the diplomacy sort of way, only because they're being observed. What he seems to be all about is pride. And the request here is not because he wants to make you do something awful. Chances are he doesn't even know what he wants to make you do, but just so he has that over you as a bit of a pride thing. As far as all of you would be aware, this sort of favor trade is not unusual. It's not like he will then ask you to swim to the unknown lands and fetch him a flower or something ridiculous. But it generally stays reasonable, if perhaps a bit demeaning in the worst case.
And it's not an oath of service.
It's not an
I'm-
offer of service.
Just a
It's- well, it technically is limited to doing a thing.
Doing a favor. No?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a favor
that's-
trade.
There's a difference.
Demas will say, and if there is something you could not do without our help, then we'll do it. Seems fair. Thereby, you know, making it so that if he does ask for it, it's sort of him admitting that he needs us. That seems to be the kind of guy he is.
He returns a grunt and says, "No, if I want you to prepare my next meal, you will do so."
He must give it with pleasure.
Ooh.
Ariad like looks at Demos with like, oh no.
I'll do it. It's fine.
I would not recommend that as a favor.
Looks to this. I am.
I think it would be a great one. Sitting down over a meal together
I'm
would be
Demo,
nice.
and I have grown up in Mitros, far away. My first visit to these plains was not too long ago. I know very little of your culture. Just as I might hazard a guess that you would feel the same if you were to visit me in Mitros. There's always been hostilities, but if you wish me to cook you a dinner, then I'll do my best. I cannot say it's a dinner you will appreciate, for I truly do not know what you would like to eat. But in as so far as I will try, then yes, of course I'll do it. If this offer is attempted to humiliate me or embarrass me, then know that the chance to get to stay here and have a look at your people and to understand more of who and what you are, she gestures out just, I mean, you look impressive. And then that seems like a small price to pay. I have no ill intentions for your people, and nor do I think, well, anyone with any say in my people. We had trouble with the Titans. We have dealt with that trouble. Truly, I do not know how that impacted.
He frowns down at Demos and says, I've been told that you are a legendary warrior, yet the amount of words you use suggests the opposite. Now then, if we all agree, you do whatever necromantic evil magics you need to do upon our trophy. If we find ourselves in a need to defend ourselves, we will enjoy the carnage. And if it so happen to go over peacefully, then you owe us, you owe me a favor. We agree, yes?
Yeah, seems fair enough.
Then he underlines, or rather, instead of a response, he just stomps, turns around, and basically makes way for you. So he sort of scoots over to Tanara, speaking in hushed voices. That appears to be the sign for you to do your thing.
Dissemble the legendary hospitality of the Centaur.
It seems to be
Right.
exclusively you being able to approach the trophy and not doing anything else.
While they're doing
We'll
that,
do
he
so.
will look around to see like what other people like. He's curious.
Yeah, you can definitely look around.
Sort of, this is really Darius's thing.
Also
Yeah, I was
this,
gonna say.
it's a Minotaur here with the name Graxus. That is a mistake. Graxus
Let's
is
say
very
I think
much
we
dead.
killed him.
Yes, you did.
And he holds a grudge.
See, I'm not the only
It's
one with
his twin
necromancy.
brother.
Graxus in italics.
Not gonna break anything by beginning to talk to
By
people
looking.
I'm not allowed to. But,
I'll give a curt nod to Taryn and Tanara as I walk past. As I approach the dragon head, I don't want to like peep in or anything, but just sort of looking at the like size and the style of this tent. Is there anything notable about it? Perhaps in a crack between the
In what
cloth.
context? Like what are you looking for?
I'm basically sizing up. Like they have a very notable trophy here. That says a lot about them as warriors and a little bit about their culture. I was just wondering if there's anything else besides the dragon head. Without spying. No is a perfectly valid answer.
Give me a perception check.
Sure. Wait, many macros. 19.
As far as you can see, I mean, there are definitely other like trophies fairly visible, almost intentionally so, as if they were supposed to be spied on. Like the tusks of some huge mammoth-like creature, perhaps, and like huge teeth, and generally just things like that. There may even be among the things some like ornate Astorian style armor, smashed, of course. It's a variety of knickknacks, basically.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, definitely learn to, or definitely, very clearly demand their respect. But yeah, as I'll go and stand underneath the head, and luckily it's not a touch range; it's 10 feet. So I guess I'm like almost directly under it, and cast Speak with Dead.
All right, let me look up the spell. Right, the head shudders slightly. Many of the Centaurs not really a fan of that, like an unconscious step back as the dead body part basically springs to some
Yeah.
obscure, like macabre semblance of life. Its eyes opens, and with milky eyes, it stares at you. Ask your questions then. Up to 5. Corpse knows only what it knew in life, including the languages it knew. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive, and the corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer if you're hostile to it or it recognizes you as an enemy.
It shouldn't recognize me. It may know of me. But I will burn one of the questions to try to even those odds. I'll say, I am a friend. No, hang on.
I was gonna say, Ariad's also visibly uncomfortable with the spell. You know, she's sort of in her mind. It's a little too close to Lutheria's domain. You know, it's like, it's yeah, necromancy is not. But she's be here because she wants Darius to feel like he's not alone. You know.
He appreciates it. He can feel basically like the hair standing on the end of his back, like so many people staring at the back of his head with disgust and discomfort.
He'll feel like the flutter of Ariad's wings a little bit, like a little restless.
Yeah.
The spectators aren't necessarily disgusted, more surprised. Just, taken by surprise, rather. Necromancy isn't inherently evil for someone who found Lutheria quite acceptable.
Fair. He doesn't like tapping into it. Never done it before. Says, do you know of Darius Halcyon and the friendship he has with Reds? I'll say that in Draconic.
The head sort of tilts ever so slightly without breaking its strange eye contact, without ever blinking, as it hisses back in Draconic. No.
Worth a shot. Why did you destroy? Or why did you? Oh God, should have written these down ahead of time. What was the purpose of your search in the Heartlands?
How do I phrase this? The head still focusing on Darius with deadly silence and intent says, to find the deepest depths, the way down, the dead, the way to him.
Who were you searching for? Who is him?
He, the first, the one who chose me to do great things, terrifying, grandiose. Is that a word? No. He promised greatness, threatened terrifying vengeance.
So it wasn't dominated, but it got in contact with him somehow. 3 questions. Anyone have any suggestions?
What he was hoping to, like, what was he actually trying to do? Well, concrete terms.
He was searching for the first red.
Why does he think he's here?
That's a good question. Why did you think the first was under these lands?
Slight grumble. I was told what to do. I did as I was told. I didn't do it.
Okay.
Do what?
I think it means he didn't succeed.
The last bit is almost said with a mix of anger and fear. Like as if he had done something bad.
Well, he said he knew what he was supposed
Yeah.
to do, right? But was this it? Are we sure this was it?
What was your biggest regret when you died?
Think about that one.
Essentially saying, what did he fail in doing? But like on a more emotional level.
My biggest regret was that it was me he chose among many others. They should have failed in my stead.
Oh, do we have one question left?
I believe so.
Because then
Yep.
We could ask, will more come here to do this?
Yeah. Will the first call more now that you have failed?
No, maybe. It took him power, limited.
Okay. I believe that's the last question. As the head deanimates and goes back to how it was before, resting, gloriously on its mount. Ugh, that was unpleasant. And then I will turn around and relay completely openly what the dragon said and the context behind it. Still linked to the Kraken, just not the way of thought. I will tell Terran and Tanara, explain to them how something is going on with the first red, the Kraken. It has the red as a prisoner. It clearly used a very intense amount of power to break through the Kraken's wards to try to get this creature to free it. There's definitely some sort of war going on that both of our cultures are caught in the crossfire in.
Right, give me a persuasion check, I think. They
All right.
both look at you with an amount of skepticism.
All right. Neither of my portents are very good, so gonna do it. Gonna do it live. $22.
22. Follow that up with an insight check for me.
Okay. Sorry, 1 second.
God, I want to say that big like chief centaur doesn't give a shit. Like more words, great.
Well, he just heard that 2 big creatures are coming in on his turf.
That's
He might
true.
be very happy. 24.
Yeah,
Maybe 2 people.
I mean, Ari is very right. The leader of the Thunderhost, Terran, does not seem to give a shit. Like, nothing you said really proves anything. There might even be a sense of suspicion because you spoke in Draconic that he doesn't speak, at least. That you could have just made all of this up. This would be like typical behavior for you people, basically. Although it's worth noting, and that might be like a sign of politeness, he doesn't say those thoughts out loud.
Mhm.
Tanara is hard to read, although 24 is very good. She perhaps even speaks Draconic herself, and seems to at least consider what you say not a lie.
Mhm. Turn towards her and say, I don't expect that we'll ever get to a place where you would shake my hand, but the last message I sent to you before yesterday, I meant it.
And she glares at Darius for a moment before she
Sorry,
says,
the second last one.
yeah, I know which one you mean. Before she says, if I believed you at any point in those past messages to have been lying with intent to do something that would harm any of our people, you would not have reached this place. My warning still stands. You were not received by my people, so their judgment took priority. But if anyone who would listen to me in the future sees you in these places again, there will be no friendly greeting.
Understood. Will not come back here unless invited. However, unless you would reject it, I still wish to share information that I learn. I think it's important, even if we're not friends, to be more open with these dangers.
Then in the future send a messenger. Should he reach me alive, then I will read whatever he has to give me.
Um, sure. Can I make a insight check? Basically, I sort of like thumb the quill a little bit, and I'm trying to read, is she purposefully saying like, don't use your magics, like go through the arduous process of sending someone into the desert? Like, is she doing that on purpose,
Sure, give me an insight check.
or did she just forget? $23.
That was very intentional. It was basically saying, you contact me via magic, that I'll basically take offense. And in fact, you send a messenger, I hope he doesn't reach me. Like, it's borderline telling you to fuck off.
Mm-hmm. I continue thumbing the quill while saying, understood. Now I believe that I have taken up more graces than necessary. So, unless anyone has objections or my companions have any further questions of you, I think I should leave. And I would have also, when I was explaining everything, made sure that the party was able to hear the entire conversation. It wasn't like meant to be private.
Yeah, I think Ariad would. Can I do an insight check to like figure out if the whole get the fuck out is like, I know that it's more so for Darius, but I think Ariad would like to know, like, is that also sort of the stance for the rest of them, right?
Mhm. I was very much intending to leave just on my own. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, good question.
Okay, give me an insight
because
check.
I don't want to start like prodding them if they're like, go away.
I mean, the general feeling, even without an insight check, that you get from this place is that nobody really wants you here. At best, people ignore you. Oh, well, the Centaurs ignore you. The general opinion is not great. The main reason why it doesn't seem to break out into outright hostility is that there's sort of an unspoken time of diplomacy currently going on, which doesn't
Mhm.
only include like Centaurs visiting, but you visited at a good time, basically. Like, there's a lot of
Right.
talks and such going on, and you happen to basically be in the midst of that as well.
So the rest of us could stay and talk a bit more if
It would probably not be appreciated, but would also not cause them to outright attack you either.
no. Yeah, I think
They clearly know that something's up.
Ariad would just like take like a step toward the chief and then like see if he can get his attention without like assuming that he wants to talk.
Sure, he'll glance towards area there. Maybe I even have a slightly better opinion of Arya just because of what she is, basically.
Yeah. I mean, she does still wear like sort of tribal clothing, especially now that she is like connecting more with the winged messengers again. I think she's like getting in her own raiment more so. And like, we don't have to have the conversation, but like she'll basically tell him about like wanting to sort of establish contact with the different cultures of the Thylian races, and that uh, she would like uh, to visit and learn about their culture, but of course she understands if that's not something they're interested in.
He like looks Arya up and down a bit and says, "I know you. You're the one that nobody knew, and then suddenly everyone remembered. I've heard
Yes.
rumors about why that is. What exactly is it that you did to anger Lufaria? So much so that she removed you entirely."
Well, I was prophesied to be one of the heroes. I
He
suppose she
ponders.
wanted to. Well, there was supposed to be a specific number, and by taking out one, I think she hoped to improve her own luck, I suppose.
He frowns a bit. A cowardly move. I will let you know that you are currently of two minds. One of you is one of the chosen heroes, defenders of the mortal invader races, and the other I can almost respect. Consider that your answer.
I think she'll like give a nod and she'll like, well, I hope to improve those odds. Thank you for your time. She figures she'll come back here once she has established contact with more other races, maybe. You know? But perhaps he'll take, you know, some pride in being one of the first ones. Well, everyone, I think that we are probably done here.
Yes. I would say so. I can take us back to the new headquarters. But perhaps we should leave on foot.
At least travel a distance away.
Seems smart. Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, you again get a bit of an escort as you leave the camp, although that eventually breaks away without saying a word.
Yeah.
And you're free to travel.
Once we've like crested below a hill or something after they disengage, I can just teleport us away.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Back to the headquarters.
Yeah. I still
Basically.
think, yeah. The highest place in Dailiha is good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we learned.
Well, it wasn't attacking the Kraken like I thought it was, but those tunnels were still definitely big enough for it to do so. And the first red clearly wants out.
Well, I think that it hoped we could serve that purpose, but perhaps
Well,
it even used the time it talked with us to, while it was open, to instantiate this message. Would make sense.
perhaps.
Perhaps the continued talking with us served more than one goal.
I hope so. I think long term, we may have perhaps made an inch of progress. At the very least, I feel better about Tanara. Slightly. Probably in the best place that I could ever expect to be. Or hope to be. And that's good.
Yes. There's like a slight purse of the lip, like a little bit, like a mom, you know, who's like, yes, you did the right thing, but also that really was not a good situation. Like, yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't have context. I can only do my best to clean up a mess.
I know. And you did. Well, what is the next step, I suppose?
Well, we have a lot of spinning plates right now. Depends on what we want to pursue. Sort of ended up back at the first theory with the red, only that it was simply contacted the red, not dominated it.
Well,
which is good, but that doesn't mean it won't get enough power to try again. And I worry about Darth Axel if that's the case. Said there were lots of others. I don't know of other reds here. And I didn't know about this one.
well, I mean, most dragons live in the wild, right? I
Mhm.
must admit my knowledge of them is not great.
Well, they're not a native species. Came with my people.
Yes.
They just settled in whatever climate is best for them, I would imagine. I thought we might have seen some red dragons at the Fire Island, but I guess not. Who knows? Perhaps there's more tangible things that we could follow, such as with Narcissus or Kraken.
How's the reconstruction of those notes going?
Oh, I was able to get very little from those, but our Vandar has been pretty eagerly helping me research the artifacts that Valis spoke of. Don't have much to report though.
Hmm.
Not yet.
Still
But
find it. I mean, I know since it was. I mean, it was affirmed, but the idea itself is daunting. I. The thought that an item could do that. I mean, I hope that it's more than just picking up whatever thing.
I'm sure it must be more complicated than that. Otherwise, it would, be in the hands of someone using it and an infinite amount of people trying to steal it from them. Really more esoteric than we understand.
Yeah. I just. I. I don't crave that power. I fear it.
I do too. For the longest time, I was trying to think of ways to perhaps dissolve it if that was ever possible. Doesn't seem like it is, though. Or even if it was, that it wouldn't be exclusive.
Seems like if there's a hole, it will be filled. Just.
I
No.
won't lie that I won't lie. I had absolutely zero interest in becoming a god, as is evident by thinking about trying to neutralize them. But if it must be done, I do crave Sidon's domain, only for the purposes of finally being able to calm the storms and allow Thylea to reconnect with the rest of the world. This place is a prison. It wasn't made for my people. We came here and that was a mistake. Anyone who wants to be free, wants to explore, should be able to. And the world is very different from this place, clearly. It seems wrong that the storms would keep us here, and even worse that when Sidon had the power that he only cemented it, made it less chaotic. Still became our jailer. I would use it only to calm those seas. Lutheria's, however, I actually can't think of anyone who has a better relationship with it in the most peaceful way possible than you.
It's like a flinch. Well,
She didn't take that domain seriously. She didn't do her duties. There's anyone, not going to pretend it wouldn't be a burden, but your relationship with death is you set a standard.
I would do it if it was necessary. If it is necessary.
Oh, unless we find information to contradict it, which I would be thrilled if that happens. It seems like it is.
I have not yet to meet this Hades, but I'm not sure I trust him with the souls and their well-being. I would like them to be reborn. A clean slate, Will.
Yeah. What's happening is to all of them. It's not fair. They didn't choose to be born into the world. Shouldn't have to suffer eternally after their death. It's wrong. Well, the reason I went to speak to Thylea was because I needed hope. Because without information, it made it seem like the real salvation was never being born in the first place. And I can't live with that.
I think she puts a hand on Darius's shoulder. It's like, I hope you found it. We all have dark thoughts at times, but a new day comes, and we certainly try to do our best to make sure that that is still a thing.
Yeah.
I hope one day, Darius, that you can get to rest. You've toiled a lot, and, well, as that so happens, the more you do, the more chances are of sometimes making a mistake, but you're always at war. I hope you can find peace one day.
Thank you. I want to. But my generation has a lot to make up for. And really the only one who can do it.
Well, you did turn out to be get a lot older than most people from your generation.
Yeah, and I can feel it. That counter has started again. I expected as much. And it means
Oh,
I
come
have
on. She looks at her. He's like, he's not that old.
no. I didn't really know us for that long as a couple, but it was Versi who sustained me. So
I suppose
my
time didn't really pass for you.
no, I live. My species live older than humans, but by nature. But even so, should have died a long time ago. And wherever my lifespan was paused, I'm not exactly sure when, but it has started again. So a lot to make up for, and I still have plenty of days, I imagine, but not infinite. So
Would that we all end our days from dying of old age. she
it's good having. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm glad for her that she was able to break that off. I would worry about her if she was that upset with me, but still kept doing it.
Have you guys talked?
No, I tried to apologize to her. I guess Valis shared with her how to stop my magic from getting to her, and that's fine. That's her choice.
Yes,
I
I think
would,
so.
would I love the chance to? I don't regret what I did, but I do regret that it hurt her so much. But making that clear is about what I want, not about what she wants. And if she doesn't want to talk, then all I can do is respect that and wish her the best in life, wherever that takes her.
Yeah.
If
I
only in my head. But
I think
the
that's
relationship that we had wasn't good. It took someone else to make me realize that. For all I go on about people being free, that was not how I started. I was very much just going along with my paused life. It was more like a pet than a partner.
Yes, well, that does sound like a bad relationship for both of you.
Mhm. Unfortunately, I never got the chance to thank the person who made me realize that, but that's a whole other conversation. And we're getting off topic. We should
Yeah,
figure
I
out what
think
we want to do.
we should like clap his like shoulder and be like, yes, or like I understand, no more talk.
But thank
Yes,
you.
I think I want.
As we're sort of disengaging from the conversation, he puts his arm on your shoulder as well, and thank you. I see what you're doing. It means a lot.
Well, I want to understand our group. We are all complicated people with a complicated past, after all. And, well, it's so different now. We were traveling, having to do things so fast. It's nice to get to talk about some other things that
Yeah.
we really didn't give ourselves time for.
No, we really didn't, did we?
For now. As she like again, like, no, we're done with this talk. I respect that. Like, I think I'll go make Arkin a snack. It's about afternoon.
Mhm. Yeah, Darius actually does smile as he watches you walk away, which is a rare sight. At least these days.
His muscles like he has to like really put the effort, pull them out. Oh,
He was so jovial when I first met him.
you know, being a hero is toiling.
Hmm.
Pain, unlimited pain. Yes. Yeah, I suppose that they just go back to whatever projects we were all doing.
Well, in a couple weeks, we're going to a wedding.
Oh yes, that's
Mhm.
true. All right, clothes shopping.
Hmm. Three very important projects: how to become a god, how to make a technological wonder work again, and how finding the right outfit.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know Hades' culture. I suspect that what I would wear for a siren, like a my tribe wedding, would not be. Well, I mean, she'll probably do that though.
We're invited by Kira. Demon's gonna look like a hero.
Just- he's gonna have a shirt he can tear off at any moment.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
could touch up the adamantine armor with a bit of gold, you know.
Yeah, some inlay.
Typically, yeah.
Maybe a
Trojan sun symbol
green
on the
dragon
chest,
on it.
yeah. Breastplate with apps.
I think I'm gonna draw out the suit, the suit style that I saw Hades wearing, and then commission like a seamstress or something to make it. Change the style a bit, but I saw what he looked like in Deimos' head.
I think Ariad would like look at it and be like, well, I mean, still want to be comfortable, even though it is a party.
Mhm.
She like looks at it like this. That doesn't seem very.
I imagine that Darius would look very good in a pinstripe
Oh
suit.
yeah, they're saying like wings and such. That doesn't seem like.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Suit needs to stay on the shoulder, you know, which is
Could
hard
have
if your whole
wing
shoulder is
slits.
pulling back.
Hmm. If you kept the wings out, you could have slits in the three-piece suit.
Yeah, I think she'll go in like siren
Mhm.
tribal.
Makes sense for her.
Add some gold paint on a skin, you know, festive. Well, I mean, it's not made of gold, but sort of glimmery. Yeah. I suppose we wait for a wedding.
Hmm.
Feels bad not knowing how we get there. You know, it's like,
Here's my ride. He said he could do it.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'll just plane shift us to Hades, and I'm sure that imp will be there. We can leave a little early just to give ourselves some travel time.
Oh, I mean, definitely. We're
Leeway.
not gonna be late to the wedding.
All right. You idle about waiting for the day that was mentioned in the message.
I'm sure God Squad and
Yeah, they're doing their thing. They'll respond to you eventually.
yeah, and yeah, I'm just helping them out, and I've forgotten his name, Aegis.
Yeah, Ariad is, you know, studying about different tribal cultures. I think she's trying to suss out also like the Mitrosian library. Like, are there books here written from the perspectives of the like old races of Thylea, or is it like, oh, the book about centaurs by, you know, some humans mo?
Incredibly racist.
Like, right? Like, I think she's like trying to suss out, like, okay, well, I mean, and if that is the case, she's like, she'll know down where they need to, you know, expand.
All right, let's take a 5-minute break and then we'll continue. I need to do a thing.
Oh, where did my token go?
Well,
I mean,
to go to Hades.
I'm only sorry that I don't have like an outfit ready for my.
Oh, I'm looking up suits. I'm trying to find the right picture.
A fashionista, like, oh.
If you'd ever thought that I'd be looking up this for Darius of Volker.
Hey, I'm not about to say no to some fan art, you know? That's in an alternate universe. Our characters are, you know, in full suits and like sunglasses as we like guitar and you know.
I just love that this is canon too. Like, I'm convinced the outside world is in the 20s.
God.
TVs, airships, the style of suit that Hades is wearing. It all is from the same time period.
Television?
Yeah. John the Time Goat.
Oh.
mentioned. I thought it was just like a little joke, like a time travel joke that she did at the time, but more things keep coming up.
What if we're inside a snow globe?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love snow globes.
Actually, what?
Cut off from the rest of the world because Thylia is too dangerous.
We've shook it and the storm is still raging.
Okay, but like if we're in the like 1950s, then I don't think we should have open border. I feel like that's a bad time in modern days.
I
Oh,
wouldn't
look,
be
a
surprised.
natural paradise that hasn't been abused and mined yet. Right? No, go away.
Just get incredibly
Fucking
involved in real life politics about
yes. Oh
the
God,
upcoming
no.
world wars and the era of imperialism. That's where this is going, definitely.
Yeah, I think so. It's the only option.
We flip it around, guys. We're gonna, they're not gonna come to us. We'll come to them.
Colonize.
What?
Outside, it's really Shadowrun. So
Could be.
They again.
technocracy.
I don't know.
All right.
I read a theory that was that it's like probability-wise, it's more likely that we're just a brain of like matter that slowly formed together in space and perfectly into a brain with all of the memories that we're experiencing, and then disappears just as quickly as it appeared. Like, apparently, that's just as likely as forming life, being actually here, because universe. Maybe that's what's happening. If we break through that,
Maybe there's a big elder brain out there. I mean,
maybe we are in the elder brain. Yeah.
But the dreams of the elder ones who slumber below the sea, right?
oh God.
It's a whole different.
All right.
All right,
Probably.
I'm ready
If-
for a wedding.
Yeah.
If
All
everyone's
right.
back, copy your tokens for me.
Hang on.
I don't even know where we are. Might still be copied from earlier, but
Yeah, where did we go?
Sorry, I
yes,
made
good.
the
There we
map invisible for you.
It's so slow loading, so that's weird.
Maybe you
Right.
don't need it.
Just going back to the Mitros map to grab the tokens. Look like
hmm
I'll
Yeah, I just see Mitros.
copy.
Yeah, let me make the Heartlands visible again so you can grab tokens if you need them. It's visible. And what's your approach? Where do you go? How do you go there?
Maybe like a couple days before the date, just use the box. Plane shift to Hades.
All right, you use the box. Then I definitely need you to copy your tokens.
I'll lose it in Hades.
Go. Bring in the fortress this time.
I refuse to camp in Hades.
Yeah.
Or guests. I'm sure they treat us nice.
Yeah. I mean, the best thing about weddings is the buffet, right? Like the food.
I'm pretty sure if they treat us terribly and we're guests, we get to curse them.
That is true.
Oh yeah.
Although
That's
if
like Thylia rules.
if there is a
Well, they're gods, right? They have to follow.
if there's a banquet, we could load the fortress up with the food.
Just stuff our pockets? No.
Ah, stuff the fortress.
That's food.
It's funny.
We pop up the fortress in the kitchens and then just gather all the
Should we
food.
load a different map sheet, or is it all on?
Since I can't see anything.
I have made the Hades map available for you.
Ooh.
You can
Oh.
load that.
It doesn't
Don't
look
see it.
available.
should be available. Oh, sorry, I've got two instances of macros open.
Oh,
Because I was doing things that would have spoiled things otherwise. so I've been making maps available there, which of course doesn't help you. Let me try that again. Player visible. That is
There we
too
go.
much. Put your tokens there.
dressed up.
And now I need to fetch the tokens from the
other file.
Oh damn, Darius. Fresh haircut.
Yeah, shaved. It's a wedding. Yeah. Okay. Apparently Artemisi's into it.
just jumps onto it immediately. All right. Done in a second. Okay, with a press of the large ruby's side, the world swirls around you. And this fiery effect that accompanies you using the plane shift ability. And you appear in the same spot already familiar to Darius, in the middle of Hades. Two things are visible immediately. One is that the area isn't as untouched as it has appeared previously. In fact, a quick glance around suggests that you are in the middle of some sort of arcane circle.
Oh, no.
The second detail, which is relevant and will require initiative, is that there's a frosty presence of a large insectoid / reptilian / devil creature who immediately raises a large pike and attacks you.
Fun.
Roll initiative.
Wrong way we went.
Oh lord.
Uh,
That is.
I didn't specify it, so maybe it's too late. But I feel like it's pretty reasonable to have cast Gift of Alacrity before going into hell.
That does seem reasonable, yes.
Cool. I'll give everyone Gift of Alacrity and remove 3 spell slots. Oh, I
What was
can't
that
add
again?
myself. You add a D8 to initiative. You should have a macro that includes it.
Yes, didn't use that.
Yeah, we were.
That'll be.
I can't do the initiative thing.
Yeah.
Every time.
That's something like this.
Nice. Can I have ownership over my initiative thingy again, sheet, please?
Yes.
know
If
why
I
it
can
keeps
find
changing.
it.
In
That is.
the combat section.
Okay, you can use it now.
Thank you. Alacrity, yes.
The imp that Darius probably recognizes,
Mhm.
even though all imps look the same, giggles. Darius, actually, I think this warrants a surprise round by the enemy side here. You certainly
Yeah.
didn't come into this expecting like a fight immediately.
Immediate. Yeah. That's fair.
I think that's appropriate. As this strange humanoid devil with like spears for a beard will charge forward immediately, the first thing he sees, which is Darius. And attack. with his beard for 20, and then with his glaive for a macro that doesn't work.
Sorry, I'm
What
gonna
in
look
the
up
hell?
what is the bonus that leather armor gives, because I think it's
+1.
unfair to claim that I still plus
Think
1.
so.
All right, I'm gonna -1 at my AC.
Right, then studded levels.
There we go. So that was. I'm gonna cast. I guess I wouldn't know what he's about to roll for the second one, but I'll cast shield and block that those attacks, especially with my suit AC. So they both miss.
The imp. The imp turns invisible. As this hulking insectoid frozen creature takes a few steps forward. Actually, does he? How does he do this? I think this is reasonable. Will extend a claw and summon a wall of ice.
Can I counterspell on a surprise round?
No.
Okay.
You cannot react. Within 60 feet, it is 1 foot thick and 30 feet long. Yeah. It's gonna be like... so, basically. Splitting off Darius from the rest of you.
I
Oh,
just
no.
don't like the areas for some reason.
How tall is this ice wall?
It is just 10 feet high.
Oh, alright. I don't care about that.
It's not huge.
You won't be alone for long, Darius.
Let's see. I can.
Just say I can just Misty Step on the other side of this thing.
I could just
Then
run
it is
over
your turn, Darius.
Does this bearded devil look like it can fly?
That's a good question. I don't know devils very well. It does not.
All right, I'll Misty Step over here. I guess I want to be like on this side. No, split up just in case it has AoE. And then I'm limited to cantrips. You know what? I'll just trance for my action. Oh, whoops.
Worth noting that Misty Step specifies a space that you can see. The wall is
Can I
not
not see?
transparent.
It's not transparent? Oh.
No.
Can I Misty Step basically above where the others and then just take a couple d6s of fall damage?
It's an unoccupied space.
Right. So the like air like over here, but it's like 10 feet up, so 15, 20 above it.
I would read the spell in such a way that it needs to be like a safe position.
Okay. So no to that then.
Yeah, it's dimension door that specifies you can basically say 20 foot that way.
If you want to go, just go here and move around.
I think that the thing is keeping us in. Because look at where he's drawn the wall.
Sure.
You know what I will do instead then? Forget that. I'm going to cast Hypnotic Pattern. And I'm going to do it. Let me see if I can. Man, it's been so long since I've used the like grid tools. Nope. I want to do it like that. I'm going to try and catch the imp too.
Okay.
So I need. Man, it's been a while since we've done this. DC 19 wisdom saves from both, please, if the imp is in there.
All right, they are both resistant, which means they
Okay,
can
so
roll
that makes it
twice.
a straight. straight roll because
Oh,
they
yeah.
have disadvantage from Instrument of the Bards. That's fail.
He fails. The imp
Fail.
fails.
Nice.
Both fascinated.
And then I'll I'll just chill, move over here, and say, "I've got this side. If you can take that one," and I'll give.
There's a bit of a cliff here, like 10 feet.
Oh, okay. So I'm sort of okay. I'll go over here then. But regardless, that will be me giving bardic inspiration to, let's say, Ariad. Been reaching out lately, so, and I'll give this ice devil. Does it? Yeah, I'm assuming that its weapon is made of ice as well, right? It looks like
pretty
it.
frosty.
Looks pretty frosty. Then I'll give epic resistance to cold damage to Ariad.
Oh, hey. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Can you do that even though you can't see me?
Yeah, see you're here. So that's
Oh,
so I
yeah.
shout out like, "I've got this side if you can take that one." As I hear the imp also being charmed, and this thing's charmed, so I'm just
we're
chilling.
definitely fighting, right?
Seems like it. I mean, they've attacked us, so it's a pretty clear ambush.
Yeah.
I think Ariad will just, you know.
Oh, I think
Like,
Junip.
you're invited to the wedding. And then, you know, she'll send a volley, but yeah, against the one on her side.
That is one hit for 15.
Yeah. And then she'll, you know, go somewhere. Actually, is there anything that seems to be keeping her inside this circle?
In fact, yes. You cannot
Oh.
cross the runes at all.
All right. Well, that's inconvenient to me. I'll go here. I mean, I fly. I don't. I'll fly 10 feet up too.
Sure.
Yes.
Artemisia.
I'm ranged anyway.
I do what Artemisia do.
State.
Start wailing on thing.
Hit and hit.
20. First one. Which, my god, I need to remember. That's just another D6.
Extra die. Weapon damage.
Yeah. So 15. And
They're probably
Devil's
fiends,
Fiends.
right?
Yeah.
They are fiends, yes.
So
Oh,
I need
yeah.
to roll an extra 2d10.
It's in there.
So it's
No, the crit damage is also doubled. The extra damage is also doubled, which is why he's rolling it.
yeah. So like 15 plus 10 plus 16 plus 10 5. I don't know if the 15 hit, but I hope a 25 hits.
Yes.
Okay.
The 15 does not.
Alright. It's radiant damage, so I don't know if
They're definitely not immune to radiant damage, I can tell you that much.
yeah, don't know if they're vulnerable, but I doubt it.
They're not vulnerable either. You slash and slice with your glowing sword. The Ice Devil seems to be, not enjoying it. Perhaps surprised a bit.
It's such a jerk. Moves over and we'll just do a sec.
The last two hit for 32 damage.
They just, said hi.
And
We don't
bonus
want you here.
That's also it.
And let's action surge. Just do that again.
Dear God, fucking
Hit,
That's
hit,
a
and
crit in
hit.
there. That's
Biters.
extra.
insane.
How much is that? 29, 30, 41?
Yes, seems right. Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. Slice
do
and
that.
slice, and in seconds, basically, this Ice Devil looks ready to fall apart into a pile of snow. The Bearded Devil is charmed. One of the imps is 2, but there's more of them.
Oh no!
3 of them are gonna go for Darius here, and 3 are gonna go for Ariat.
Oh no, flying enemies!
Yes, they can fly.
God damn it!
This will be 3 attacks against. Actually, sorry, one of them is gonna go for Darius. The other 2 are gonna wake up their buddies.
Okay.
Now I have to actually find out what my AC would be without a breastplate on. And this is the time you wish you hadn't as a sorcerer. When I level, it's only then I can switch out my spells. I don't have mage armor anymore.
Alright, 1 attack against Darius. It's an 8.
No.
And 3 against Ariat. 1, 2, 3. 24 probably hits.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna shield that because I don't think I could even get close to that.
That's a 15 and a 16.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think those are all hits.
So here. You have your shield?
Yes, of course. Well, again, like, would we?
I certainly do.
That's entirely up to you.
Yeah, she would have a shield.
I definitely wouldn't have disarmored and stuff if I was like a martial character, but since it didn't do me shit most
Right.
of the time.
Then you would
Yeah,
have
have a shield.
your dex mod. You would have 15 then.
I have
dex mod,
3 dex. Yeah,
the shield.
so all hits, and that is 6.
6, 6, and
12.
4, so for 16 damage and 3 con saves, please.
Oh lord, is that a magical effect?
No,
Oh,
it is
poison.
just filthy teeth.
Oh man.
Fail, success, and success. So you take 11 plus 4 plus 6. That is another 21 poison damage.
Yikes. All right. Well, I wasn't gonna hex them before, but
Alright. The Ice Devil reeling at the onslaught. Who looks easiest to hurt? Probably Artemisia, considering Demos is just a pile of armor.
Yeah, Artemisia doesn't wear any armor.
Then he will do his multi-attack. Trying to bite her first. 27.
Yeah, that hits.
Then swinging with his glaive for 12.
Oh, that misses.
And then a tail swipe for 30,
Yeah, that hits.
which is a nat 20.
Okay.
Which will be an extra 19 damage. For a total of what I believe is 62 damage.
Ow. I don't remember what I can even do as this character. Not a lot to that.
Anything I could do to help you here is not enough. Stop at 27 or 30.
No, I mean, I can give myself an extra 3.
I could give
AC.
you an extra 4 most.
Be 7, so yeah, we wouldn't
No,
do anything.
yeah. Just
It is what it is.
Darius.
All right. Darius is going to provoke an attack of opportunity from this imp next to him.
Oh, perfect. 23.
Yeah, that'll do. So how much damage is that? 6?
6 and a con save.
Okay. I'm dropping hypnotic patterns, so it doesn't matter if I con save, you say. Oh my god.
Fail, so you take another 11 poison damage.
Ow. Rough. Okay, that might change things a little bit. Sorry, just looking up potential alternate spell.
Yeah,
You
you
know
didn't
what?
account for this situation. Me
I
either.
was going to hypnotic pattern them again, but I think instead I'll take another op from this imp here and continue moving. Hits.
I think that's a nat 20. It is.
God.
Nothing I can do about that.
Let's hope you succeed your
The
con
roll
save.
is piercing again.
Yeah. Right, that is 8 piercing and give me a con save.
How much do I need to make? 11?
11, yes.
Let me just look at my bonus. I'm probably going to blow this 9. Nope, that won't do it. So I'm going to have to roll. Con save. My God. I'm rolling shit
Then you
today.
take another 25 points of poison damage.
Ow, I'm bloody for sure.
I think I'm gonna have to leave you here, Demos.
All right, now I'm positioned here. It pissed me off. Upcasting. God, what is it? Where the hell is it? Cone of Cold. I'm gonna do a 6th level. You guys are annoying.
6th level Cone of Cold. Okay.
Yeah, and it's gonna look like that.
Hitting Juniper too?
No, Juniper will fly over the wall and give the help action against the Ice Devil.
All right. I mean, the imps making their save does not matter.
Yeah, all of them can die, and then the Bearded Devil hopefully will die too.
This guy. Guess how much HP he has? 46.
Yeah,
And
I had
these
to blow a
guys
high
are
level spell, but that was worth it.
also all dead.
Fuck out of here.
Oh, I'm killing the same imp over and over again.
Oh. Channeling Belmitra herself.
They crumple into a pile and then basically melt.
I look down at my suit that has like some slashes through the shirt. I'm like, come on. Just had this custom made.
Yeah, it's true. You can't even like easily get it, get
Mending.
fixed.
Yeah, I'll cast mending on it later, but come on, dude.
Precipitation
invited.
Clean it.
No decorum.
All right, Eric.
Yeah. So casting in melee gives you disadvantage, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Casting and ranged attacks in melee, which
Yeah.
includes Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm gonna chain lightning. All right. So I'm gonna roll 10d8, and they can save for half. My label should have my save DC, which should be 17. The
Right.
3 imps are being targeted.
I think you can target everything here because it's 1 primary target and then 3 targets within 30 feet of that target.
Great. That's what I'll do then.
Yeah. First I'm reading this. Yeah, you can hit everything here. Let's see if the imps they are gone. I'm not gonna roll the save for them.
Great.
This guy also fails. All right. As
Okay.
they explode,
Lightning damage.
they explode in a shower of lightning and sparks.
I think she'll repeat. We have an invitation to the wedding.
Combat is over.
Well, that was rude.
Extremely.
It's a fucking almost half HP, man. What the fuck?
Oh, ow! I need to take a short rest.
Demas tries to walk through the wall.
You cannot. There's an invisible force pushing against you.
Can I miss the step to the other side?
You can attempt to if you want to
Nah,
use
that wouldn't
the
even
spell
get. That wouldn't get Artemisia and Demas across here. Let's just cast Dispel Magic.
Dispel magic.
Hang
give
on,
me...
let me trance first. I'm gonna, because I know you're gonna ask for a roll. I don't
will.
think I can. Yeah, trance first.
You know, had I known a lot of spells took Arcana rolls, I would have
Oops, not that
probably
one.
trained it.
You have some book on the boat. Now.
Wow! Holy
Yeah.
shit!
20 and 19.
Oh lord!
It's a nice roll.
Yeah, I mean they're only gonna last for 10 minutes. That's the sad thing.
So
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
you do,
start
Demas is,
thinking about.
whatever you
Start
do,
thinking about what-
Darius, Demas is stabbing this wall at the exact same time as you do it.
Yeah. it's like enough. And just
Doing
blow,
magics.
blow the nat 20 and get rid of both of these things. Now I'll use the 19. If a 19's not enough, then fuck me, right? 'Cause I
19,
also
19
have,
is enough to dispel the circle. I can tell you
yes.
that much.
Can I get rid of the wall as well?
The wall seems conjured. It's actual like weird hell ice that is slowly melting.
So
My
shrugs up
eye
and
thing is backfiring on me now.
that'll teach him.
I cast Mending on my suit. Ow.
Oh, Darius, which way is it?
I don't know. I was told that Adam. He sort of stretches his back. Oh, God. Mends the suit.
Right?
I had a
The
much
west way.
more pleasant welcome the last time I was here.
Right?
Make me wonder if there's even a
I
wedding at all.
thought this was usual.
No, I might have kept my armor on if it was. Like cracks his, like moves his head, like cracking the neck. The other side.
We need a moment. Don't want to
Yep.
get too late. But
Yeah, well, we gave ourselves some time. I need it.
as they say, a party usually starts when Demas arrives.
Well then, you can determine if I'm late or not.
He'll stick around. He'll go around, kick some dust. And
Well, maybe take a look, see if there's a
dust.
sign or something. Entrance hall in this hellscape. Yeah, I'm bloodied for sure, so I need to take a short rest if that's cool with y'all.
Sure, why not?
Well, give me my trances back. That's nice. Actually, before I do that, I'll use Channel Divinity Harness Divine Power, get a spell slot, then get my trances back.
Someone might show up and be like, "Hey, this is not
Also
where you're
get a-
supposed to be parking."
Yeah, exactly, right. Also, from Arcane Recovery, get a first level spell slot back. One. Level 3 slot. And I need to burn some. It's too bad I don't have a use for that natural 20.
We'll find a use. It's
I'll
gonna be
play-
out where
Play the Song
Luna
of
needs to be
Rest.
stabbed in the face somewhere out here.
Dice. 2. Yeah, I'll hold on to that. Bardic Inspo's back. Channel Vision finished. There we go.
What does the Song of Rest do again?
After you spend your first hit die, you can roll an extra d6. Only once
Oh.
during a short rest. Yeah. It's just a little topper.
Oh,
Esprit, roll the last one.
apparently my rolls were wrong. They didn't include my con save. My con modifier. I'm definitely at
that's
full
it.
health now. I've got
2 hit dice left.
3, so I used 10 and I was missing. So I healed an extra 40.
Oh wait.
That's pretty hard.
Did get slapped pretty hard. It's normally you who gets slapped.
Mm. They just looked at all this armor and they were like, not that one.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they had a grudge.
Yeah.
Separated from the rest of you. That's never fun. Why do people keep doing that? Like those dragons.
Like Shadowrun, like Geek the Mage.
Hmm.
He's the dangerous
It
one.
never
He
ends
must
well
put
for
us
them.
to sleep. Huh?
You need to learn not to. The big bosses. Yeah, that's you young folks, but you need to learn to stop swarming me in crowds.
Well, it looks around. Presumably, this is not where the party is held. Are we waiting or?
Waited for
Well,
an hour, I
Yeah.
think. Actually, not sure. So it looks around the.
well, see if we have a better reception, or now that we're on the same plane, I could try sending a message to Archirania again. I'm skeptical that will work, though. And it might be worth holding that off, just in case you need it later.
Look around. Is there like a high point within sight?
I was gonna say
Uh,
Ariat will fly.
there isn't like really a mountain or a hill visible. I think I've described this area before. It's like it's a craggy hellscape, literally. You can't see that far because there's like this thinnish, like a reddish fog that just means the distance you can see isn't that far. Occasionally, like there's a bit of different weather with like blackened clouds drifting through the sky. But there's no convenient like high points. Like these trees probably couldn't support your weight. And those that might are literally on fire. Nor are they very tall. You can fly if you are okay with making yourself pretty damn visible.
I mean,
Yeah,
just putting
that's
that out
probably
there.
not. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
If we take out the invitation, does it have any like that evocation?
The
think
the
it-
invitation
it's gone.
has burst into flame at this point.
Right. Yes, I forgot. Well, I mean, it's either sit here or go home or wander off somewhere, I suppose.
You could give me another. What would be the check that is appropriate? I think an insight check would make sense.
do you think it's weird that the invitation didn't say Kira on it? I mean, if it was
No.
official,
Kira doesn't exist anymore. So,
I was just offended.
not in that way. She is Archirania. She's still the same person, though.
Insight check 16.
As Ariat doesn't understand anything here.
Dirty
It's
20.
horrible.
Yeah.
Also, it's a cave or like a. There's like a roof, right?
You
Ash.
can't really see a roof. No, there does seem to be a sky with clouds. It's just there's no stars or moon or sun. It's like this
okay.
eternal reddish twilight. Clouds
That's
drifting
okay.
through the sky.
As long as it's not a cave. She's right. I mean, it's not her sky, but it's a sky.
It's true. There is
Oh, I
also
just remembered everyone should have had 8 temporary hit points. Whoops. I guess we take them now.
yeah, Darius, you could also give me a knowledge arcana on top of that, please.
Okay, cool. Arcana.
Or religion? I think religion is actually more appropriate.
Oh. All right. That was 19 for Arcana. Religion, 22.
Yeah, perhaps using those two things in conjunctions. What Darius would know about like the plane of hell and devil kind that inhabits it is that if they offer something, they are basically forcing themselves to agree to the terms. So if they invite you somewhere,
Mhm.
it can't be a trick. It's a genuine invitation.
And it was in paper too.
It
so,
was
like, in
literally
writing.
on paper. Yeah, you had it in writing. Even if it disintegrated now, it's still valid. Like
Yeah.
it specified a time.
I had that thought. I just wasn't sure if Darius would have that thought, but that is good to know.
I think so. They are basically oaths taken to the extreme.
Mhm.
It's in their nature.
I'll explain that.
Darius with that insight check would think that there's something going on. Like he would know that devils are generally very precise, which means that everything that is left out by intention. Like the invitation is real.
There is a wedding, and we are invited to it, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing going on.
Yeah, the fact that it doesn't mention where it is or how to get there, and that you're ambushed on the way, might suggest that the invitation was forced. Like you had to be invited, but it's gonna be very difficult for you to attend. How about
Okay.
that?
How about that? Cool. Sorry, just while we're still doing our rest up there, I think everyone should take back a hit die or two because you should have had 8 temporary hit points.
I mean, if you forgot, you
It's my
forgot.
bad.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, fair enough. Fair enough.
Like it's too retroactive at this point too.
No, it's fair. That's for sure. For sure. He's off his game today. Like, well, I could try scrying.
I think
Though that didn't work last time.
this
Here,
way.
but oh, there's a chance it could work.
Well,
Will we be going much longer? Because it's getting kind of late.
I think we're going to stop here. I just wanted to see if you have any idea for your next steps.
find out how to get there.
Yes.
Yeah, I should have burned that natural 20 on the insight. Just remember that. Like,
yeah, as far as you're aware, you always have your way to return by just using the ruby gate again to go home.
yeah.
Or I suppose plane shift if you have access to that.
Do not.
No. I have very limited amounts of spells over here.
But yeah,
and I'm a multi-class spellcaster. I just upcast everything.
Getting to the wedding is certainly intentionally both in and out of game meant to be part of the challenge.
That's okay. We killed Titans. Surely we can find a wedding. Presumably
before-
it's not like super silent or whatever. It is the prior god of music and poetry who was there. I'm assuming that there'll be some warm-ups, spitting
Yeah.
some sick raps, whatever.
Hades definitely seemed like he likes to put on a show. That's for sure.